Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the third episode of the Conductors Corner podcast. I am your host, C Junior, and join with me today are.
Mr. Jord. No, fuck, I've done it again. It's just Jord. Is Jord, otherwise known as the Ringo Conductor.
The Red Ginty or Carlin Conductor.
That took a while.
And
But
Alec
anyway,
Baldwin Conductor is once again not available with us at this moment, probably still making gold dust or lost trying to find the windmill. He's completely lost his sense of direction, as is typical, but
yep.
we've managed without him, so it'll be fine. So,
So,
you all may be wondering, what are we going to talk about today? Well, I don't know
well,
about you guys, but I am tired of seeing people arguing endlessly about our favorite little blue twit. It just
a
seems
little
like,
blue man,
yep,
Mr. the Tank Engine himself.
yes. I know about you guys. I'm kind of tired of the discourse surrounding him.
I'm tired. Uh, I'm tired of people being tired, but then again, I'm tired as well. So,
Well, you don't go to sleep at a proper time, so no wonder you're tired.
oh well. You started the podcast at fucking what is it? 11.
Yeah,
Yeah. 11 my time, so this is technically your fault as well.
well, I
Either
mean,
way.
I always sleep at 2 in the morning, and you do too, so
Go to bed at 4.
Like,
What do you take me for?
sleep schedules anyway? Fucking losers.
Yeah.
I need to have proper sleep schedule.
yeah,
Anyway, moving on.
hmm. Yes, so today, so as to not, like, get heavily involved in Thomas discourse, again, we're gonna change things up a bit. We're gonna talk about things, big shocker, outside of Thomas. Dun
Yep.
dun dun!
hmm
So,
We're gonna talk about all the things we do outside of Thomas. Some of
yes,
them may surprise you, but
yes,
some of them may not.
because,
It may be
yeah,
predictable, but I don't
Number
know.
5 may surprise you.
Number 12 may surprise you.
number 15, Burger King foot lettuce.
But
Eh, because,
anyway, whatever. We're 3 minutes in. We gotta get going. So,
eh, so, who here wants to start?
hmm. I mean, I'll let
Hold
I'll
on.
let any of you guys start because I'm gonna drone on for a while.
Hmm. Well, if you're gonna draw on for a while, maybe we should start with you so you can get what you want to say out of the way.
Oh, uh, well, hmm. I guess I could begin with modeling since it's the least niche, I'd say. So with modeling, of course, I don't have any money. I can't spend $1,000 on a model and you know expect it to look good. You need to do shit with that thing to make it look good. Like you spend $200 on an what are they called?
Sorry. My brother came in asking me what I wanted for dinner.
Hmm.
Oh,
So
well,
I'm probably gonna have to go for a bit in the middle of this, but I will be back. I'm not leaving yet though.
Hmm.
okay,
Well, what are you
but
gonna have
yeah,
for dinner?
We're getting Chick-fil-A.
uh,
Alright. Anyway, back to
slick.
Jord.
I've never had slick
It's
fillet,
okay.
Chick Fil A.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Popeyes is better, but for what it is,
Perhaps. Um, but yeah, um, yeah, you gotta spend ludicrous amounts of money on certain models, like the S100 tank engine I have, the American loco. That cost me 200, or roughly close to 200, and it still didn't have all the details I wanted. Uh, so yeah, but um, after I added those, I was like, okay. I got to stop spending large amounts of money on models. So what I did was I started making little cardboard ones. Um, and that of course spiraled into Cardboard Thomas Gang, which Mike is a part of, the Berry Truck. And it's just a group where the cardboard name doesn't hold up anymore, but a lot of us are using relatively cheap materials to make models. Mainly like cardstock and I don't know, like clay, whatever it is, like balsa wood, anything. That's you know, it should be called Cheapo Thomas Gang because yeah. But anyway, um, hmm, well,
So have you built anything? What have you built out of cardboard?
out of cardboard, I started an Edward and it didn't look very good because I didn't plan anything out and I just cut the pieces out. But that was done in 2017. I tried making a J50. Again, didn't plan anything. I just went for it and it didn't work. And yeah, but after I did that, I did start planning stuff, and in the works right now, I have finished a model, but one last little thing that I need to get for it is a face. But I can't spoil what it is. I can't spoil the next story. But one thing I have in the works is Ivor the Engine. He's coming out. Um, the another one I have is either Thomas or Percy, but I have those two planned out.
How
That's
far
it,
along is
really.
Ivor?
How far along is Ivor? He's got the pieces drawn out on like a sheet. So yeah, he will be cut out and glued together soon, but I also need to get a suitable motor for him. And I'm tempted to use my leftover Edward motor. Yeah, but other than that, I don't really know what else to say on modeling. This was a really weak subject.
Wow.
Uh,
This is why I need to work on your public speaking skills.
No, I've worked on it. I've gotten better. It's just the subjects I choose. But anyway, who just left?
No one.
Oh well, Brennan left for me. But anyway,
I Discord.
I guess we don't bore our viewers any longer. Would any of you guys like to take the stage?
Yes, because I have a non-Thomas interest that I'm sure everyone here is also interested in. Our good old favorite kitchen cleaning device himself, Spongebob.
Oh yeah, fucking everybody likes
Oh yeah, of
SpongeBob.
course.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a requirement, essentially.
Yeah, we all grew up with it. We all enjoy the comedy, and I think we're all under the belief that the first 3 seasons are the best seasons, and everything after that pales in comparison.
I say season 1 to 4 because like season four doesn't get enough love.
It has some good stuff. I will give it credit. It has some good episodes, but in general, it doesn't feel as genuine as the other 3.
Season 4 of SpongeBob is kind of like what season 6 and season 7 are to Thomas.
Yeah.
It's a transitional period. Like it's still good, but it's not the same as what came before. But there are some classics in that season that really don't get enough love, like Fear of a Krabby Patty.
Steel Crane.
I forget the name of the episode, but the one where Patrick dresses up like a girl to disguise himself.
That's season 5.
Yeah.
That one's called That's No Lady.
Is that season 5? I thought that
Yes.
was. I'm almost positive that's season 4.
The art style, I remember for the art style. I remember it was season 5. I think. Let,
I'll have to check on that later, but trying to think of some others from that
there's
season.
Skill
Oh,
Crane. Oh
Truckee
no, it is
Hotel.
season 4. I lied.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Sure.
That's what I thought.
Um. Hmm. Yeah. I agree somewhat that season 1 and 3 are, or season 1, 2, 3 are like peak SpongeBob. But I also grew up with the movie, and that's like,
Well, yeah,
that's not even a nostalgia thing. I still enjoy it now.
the movie is the end of the
Oh yeah,
franchise. Movie is
it's a good
canonically
movie.
the end of SpongeBob.
Yeah. Um. Hmm. Canonically the end of SpongeBob, but I do agree with Brennan that like latest stuff does have some bangers. Um. Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's funny how many parallels you can draw between SpongeBob and Thomas. Not to like drudge on this topic a lot since we're trying to stay as far away from the little blue twit as possible, but they both
Call
had a
him that.
peak.
Love him.
They both had a peak during the
No,
first few seasons of
no,
their
I'm
shows.
sorry.
That
I'll be.
all right.
Fuck. What happened?
Well, we killed him. He had to go
God damn
eat,
it.
but he was eaten himself to the sands of time.
Shit.
Hmm. But as I was saying, you can draw a fair amount of comparisons between both shows in terms of their quality because they both start out the first few seasons are the peak of the show and have never really been matched. But after its first big movie, the show decreased in quality, and then it came to the point where it was barely recognizable from what it once was. Then it came back with in full swing like 10 years later, like SpongeBob in season 9 after their second movie, and Thomas with the Brenner era, of course, after Blue Mountain Mystery.
Hmm.
Both of those movies are really good. And meanwhile, um, they're still, well, Thomas went strong until its reboot, and then SpongeBob is going on fine just now, but until the Camp Coral like spin-off show that's supposed to be happening, which is definitely going to taint the franchise a bit.
Hmm.
But that's the way I see it. It's basically the progression of these franchises is very similar.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But to stray away from Thomas for a bit,
Yeah.
I remember that one episode where everything was silent and SpongeBob, I almost said Thomas. SpongeBob had that like vacuum backpack thing.
Oh, Reef Blower. Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, in my mind, I thought that meant like that was the first episode because they didn't have voices. Um, yeah, 7-year-old me was kind of fucking stupid, but anyway.
Which is funny you
Uh,
mentioned that they don't have voices because apparently, I don't quote me on this, but I think this is true. Is that their audio recording broke, so they had to do no voices, and that's why when he goes you in the episode, it's just written out
yeah, as
instead
a
of
subtitle.
instead of like actually verbalized. But they ruined this on current Nick Arians because they got Tom Kenny to record the line you, and it kind of kills it.
Sorry, what episode are we talking about?
Reef
The
Blower.
one, yeah, the one where SpongeBob's like, oh, everybody's silent, and he has like the vacuum backpack thing.
Oh,
Reef Blower.
Reef Blower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We were only talking about that because I brought up the fact that I thought that was the first episode. Um, because they didn't have any voices, but and Squidward was like purple or something when all the water was drained.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was weird. Um, I remember late at night that one episode. Oh, what is it like? Rock Bottom.
Yes.
That one.
Hmm.
I remember that episode aired late at night, and it gave me weird vibes. Not so much scared, but like, whoa, SpongeBob can do this kind of thing.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
it,
couldn't
it was
even
just
tell the
creepy.
bathrooms apart.
Yeah,
This isn't just any darkness. This is advanced darkness.
I can't understand your accent.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part from that whole episode is when like he loses his temper and he just like has like a fit inside of his clothes.
Mm.
Turner says Turner. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. I think the part of the episode that along with that makes me laugh the hardest is the comedy bit with the the candy machine,
Mm.
where just like
Yeah.
every time like he sticks his hand in there, the bus comes, and then there's a back and forth.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Another weird SpongeBob memory I have is you guys ever owned lights, camera, pants?
I heard
For
about it a
the
lot, but I never owned it.
it
Was that a
was
DVD?
It
no,
was a video game, right?
it was a PlayStation 2 game. I don't know if it came out on anything else, but it was lights, camera, pants, and it was essentially Mario Party, but not really. It's just a collection of It's just a collection of mini games where you do stuff. And I remember the day I got it, I was at a car boot sale. I was like, "Oh, it's SpongeBob and it's on the PS2. I have that console, so I bought it." Um, but yeah, I when I got it, fucking, I put it in. I also got a SpongeBob balloon. So I don't know why, but I was on a SpongeBob kick that day. I put the game in, and I was severely disappointed. Um, but also intrigued because sometimes it'd glitch out because of how old my PlayStation was. Or how mistreated it was. And it was kind of weird. Um, but yeah, that's my experience with SpongeBob. But now I appreciate the old animation for how weird it looked.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Who wants to get the Battle for Bikini Bottom game?
Oh, I'm
Yes.
definitely
Rehydrated
getting
when
it.
comes
It is
out?
coming to
I want
PC,
to-
right?
Yes.
What?
Nice.
Yeah, it is coming
Yeah,
to
I think it
PC.
is coming out on PC.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
am
I'm
very
definitely getting
excited
it
for
then.
that. I wish that I could get it, but quarantine sucks, so I can't leave house.
I think
If
I
it's on
you can
PC, I can
pre-order
just get it on
online.
Steam. So
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was gonna be on Steam.
it is.
yeah.
It's on console and it's on PC.
Hmm. But yeah, I'll be investing in a copy.
Yes. So, as is pretty much tradition, whenever you talk about SpongeBob, you gotta talk about your absolute favorite episodes. And I think we all know what our favorite episode is. So let's just say it right now. It's Band Geeks.
Hard to
That's the
choose because like there are very few, if at all, like, and there's very few bad episodes in seasons 1 to 3 of SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Even the worst ones aren't that bad. I feel like the worst ones from that season are just forgettable at
Hmm.
at most.
yeah.
Obviously there's classics that everyone loves, like Chocolate with Nuts, fucking
Pizza delivery.
Oh
Pizza
yeah.
Delivery, Band Geeks. Those are all classics. But one I feel people don't talk about enough is Employee of the Month. I really like that one.
Yeah, that one's funny.
Hmm.
It's a unique episode because it's a SpongeBob and Squidward competing isn't something you see often.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially nowadays, you don't really see it.
Uh.
Brennan,
What?
did you die?
Did you finish your point
No, I'm
or?
still here. Huh?
Oh. What?
What happened?
Whatever. Fucking. Let's
Did
get
I
back
brush
to.
my mic or something?
Hmm?
Did I
I
like
don't know.
touch
You
my
just kind
mic
of
or
stopped.
something?
Maybe you
You
just
just kind of
blind.
stopped.
Yeah, you just kind of stopped.
Oh,
Hmm.
did I? Maybe Discord cut out. I mean, I was finished talking.
Oh.
I was waiting for one of you guys to go.
Yeah.
I see.
My personal favorite episode, no pitch shot. It's Band Geeks. Everyone loves Band Geeks.
Well, yeah, it's
Oh,
one of the best.
It
I have
is
a little
it is
thing
the
about
best.
that too.
Sure. What's your story?
I thought that was the end of the show because of how spectacular and amazing it was.
I don't blame
Um,
you. I would be
Yeah,
fine if
it
it was
does
the end of the
feel
show.
like I watched it, I almost cried because I was like, "Damn, that was such a good show! Like that was such a good song. I hope it doesn't end." Uh, but yeah, my mind when I was younger was an anomaly.
I mean, we're all anomalies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that it's a story focused on Squidward. I love that it's an episode where like everyone decides to pull through and help Squidward, even though he's kind of a jerk.
Yeah, Squidward actually wins for one.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
song is awesome, and I will never ever forgive the Super Bowl for gypping us.
Oh, the fucking Super Bowl, bro.
Oh, God.
I remember the night that happened
That's
because
so
it was
pissy.
3 in the morning. I had stayed up for it. I watched it and it fucking fell flat on its face.
I
I was
know.
like,
I sat
damn.
through the most boring football game ever just for that.
Exactly.
It wouldn't have even been that bad if the game were interesting, but like the game itself that year was terrible. Like nothing happened. Like I forget what the final score was, but it was something really like low. It was like 0-3 or some shit.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. God. It was worse for me because I had stayed up until like not fucking
Yeah.
12, 3 in the morning. I'd stayed up. It was a
I
school
can
night
only
too.
imagine staying up till 3 a.m. just to get 5 seconds of SpongeBob, only to go into sicko
5
mode.
seconds of flash animated SpongeBob when they could have just used the clip. And
Yeah, they could.
then Travis Scott comes on and is like, wow! Like, what the fuck? I wanted Sweet Victory. What's this?
Allegedly, what the deal was is that Adam Levine was gonna sing "Sweet Victory" because he was the one who was doing the halftime show that year. But nope.
God.
Travis Scott comes on with what was it, Sicko Mode?
Yeah, sicko
And
mode.
ruined everything. I remember I went into school and everybody was like, "Oh, Travis Scott's so cool. Travis Scott, Sicko Mode's so good, guys." And I just sat there fucking seething, eating my gone off pizza.
I was so pissed for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
I was so upset. It didn't help that I was tired too, so I snapped at anybody who brought it up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest disappointment of my life.
Biggest disappointment of your life so far.
That's true.
That's
But
a
other
little Simpsons reference for you guys.
Yeah, I know the Simpsons movie. I got it.
I remember watching the Simpsons movie. I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah,
It's
it's
okay.
I remember when they showed it on TV and they censored the part where you see Bart's dingle.
They didn't do that over here.
They didn't censor it.
No, they didn't censor it.
No, I had it on DVD, so it's not censored.
No, but when I saw it on TV,
I don't recall it being censored. I do remember seeing it on TV once with the censored part. Like they have a leaf in front of it.
Yeah. No, I remember when I watched it on like Fox during Thanksgiving, like one year, it said it had a censor bar, but it said European vision only or something. So all you Europeans, good, you got lucky. You get to see Bart's junk.
Lucky?
I mean,
are you really lucky though?
I mean,
But anyway, yeah. I remember I was watching it with my grandfather, and we were watching that scene, and we were like, "Oh fuck, is somebody gonna fuck up? Is something like gonna show it off?" And then the fence part comes up, and it plays that little tune, and we both laughed our asses off. It was so funny. But yeah,
I haven't seen this. I don't think I've seen the Simpsons movie in like well over a decade.
I
Mm.
remember seeing it
Like
once.
this was like the only PG-13 movie I got to see as a kid. I
Hmm.
think actually no, not the only one, but like one of the few.
I got to watch everything when I was
I
younger.
remember my parents wouldn't let me see it. They were like, "No, The Simpsons is garbage because it is for adults, and you can't see it because you're a kid." And then I saw Passion of the Christ when I was 8.
What?
Yeah, that's a true story.
Nice.
No, not nice. It scared me for weeks.
Okay, du- double
Um,
standard on the part of your parents there.
Well,
Jeez.
yeah, because it was religion. That's
I
probably so. It's like it's based on a true story, so it's okay.
I
tuh,
mean, I feel like the Simpsons movie is probably more harmless.
it
Well,
is.
I'm pretty sure if they saw the part where Bart flashes the audience, they would have been like, "No, this is the problem with American television. They get to show all this gross stuff. No more
You had
cartoons."
those kind of parents?
Yeah,
Jeez.
I couldn't even watch SpongeBob till I was like 7. Or Ed,
God.
I never watched Ed, Ed and Eddy growing up because they were like, "No, it's a violent cartoon. You can't watch."
I got to watch everything when I was younger. Like, they'd make me watch horror films with them. I'd sit in the living room and be like, please, can we just put on SpongeBob? And then they're like, no, we're watching the werewolf movie, and the werewolves scare me. And it's like, yeah, and they're like, there's nothing to be afraid of. It's costumes.
No, I remember.
It's like, no, it's scary.
Yeah, no, I remember. We also. I don't know if you guys know what The Secret Life of Bees is. Does anyone know what that is?
Wait, what was it? The
The
Secret Life of what?
Bees.
Bees.
That sounds like a B movie ripoff.
No,
Is
it's
it
not.
Sounds like a
It's
B movie
actually
in Life
no.
of Pets ripoff.
It's not at all. It's basically a movie about this girl who leaves home from her abusive father and goes to
Oh,
like
Jesus.
this home of like this like sisterhood of like black women who support each other, and like there's a lot of like racial like violence in it. This is like during like the 60s, and like there's a scene, there's race violence. There's a scene where like the dad shoots the girl's mom, and like
Oh,
Nice.
there's a scene where one of the sisters drowns herself in a river.
Jesus.
And yeah, I saw it when I was a little child, and it was horrifying. But no, Ed, Edd n Eddy's too violent.
Damn.
It puts bad messages in your kids' heads. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the extent of my viewing
hmm.
experiences as a kid.
I
Interesting.
remember.
I'm sure like if I watched it again, it would actually be a good movie. But like I don't know, man. I think I'd be scared by it more than anything.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um. Another thing from when I was younger, what I used to do was I used to stay up really late, aka like 12 o'clock. Because that was really late to me at the time, and now it's just like normal. But
Yeah, like that's nothing nowadays.
yeah. But I used to stay up until 12 o'clock, and I'd watch Cartoon Network. Because what they do over here was they didn't do Adult Swim. That was on Channel 4. And I didn't know what Channel 4 was at the time. So I was watching Cartoon Network, and they'd air stuff that they'd air in America. So stuff we didn't see. I think well, they must have aired it at some point, but at that point it was old, so they just air it late at night. There was one cartoon called Skatoony, which was a game show where like cartoon characters and real kids compete, and all the time like kids would like win because you can't have one of the characters winning, so it's all fucking predictable every
Uh,
single time.
this was a Cartoon Network show, right?
For me, yeah, it
Okay,
was.
that explains why I've never heard of it because I was a Nickelodeon kid. I
Uh,
was I never watched. I hardly ever watched Cartoon Network or Disney.
I watched Cartoon Network mainly, but I watched Nickelodeon for SpongeBob. Everything else I didn't like. But
I mean, even though SpongeBob was like the best thing on there, uh, I mean, like I said, I was almost strictly Nickelodeon. I watched whatever else was on
yeah.
as well. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. Another one was Chop Socky Chucks. That was a really weird cartoon about chickens, apparently, that do kung fu and shit. And they live in like this mall city or whatever. Yeah, it was weird. Oh, Avengers knows what it is. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of it before. I never saw it.
What was it called?
Chop Socky Chucks. Rebel Taxi did a video on it recently.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that.
Fucking, what was it? I remember Ben 10 Ed a lot when it was late. I don't know why. But I didn't like Ben 10. I sat through Ben 10 to get through the other stuff. Or get to the other stuff, rather.
That's how I felt about Fairly Odd Parents. Everyone only watched it because there was nothing better on.
Yeah, Fairly Odd Parents has its moments, but it really was what you watched while you waited for SpongeBob.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
we can all agree Jimmy Neutron was better.
I didn't like Jimmy Neutron when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah.
Loser.
It was too weird for me. I put it on, I watched it, and I was like, damn, I don't like this. Yeah. But now of course I like it because there are some bangers in there. What else was on?
There was were you no, you were a Cartoon Network kid, right?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. Did you I'm trying to think of did you ever watch Cow and Chicken, or was that Nickelodeon?
Cow and Chicken was definitely Cartoon Network, I remember that. Yeah, no. That was on late at night too. I remember that. I didn't like the Weasel and Baboon sections because I was like, I want to know the Weasel story, but it's always with like the baboon, and it's like, bruh. But yeah, I'd always watch Cow and Chicken. Late. What else?
Dinner plans keep changing. This is like the third time.
I see.
Or second time, depending on how you look at it. But anyway, go on.
Oh, I just remembered something. Do you guys remember the premiere of Regular Show and Adventure Time?
No.
Holy shit!
I don't think I ever
That was
watched
like the turning point.
I need to watch Adventure Time because it's created by Rebecca Sugar. So
No, it's not.
I like it.
It's not.
You all know how big a fan I am of her other. Wait, it's not Rebecca Sugar?
It's not Rebecca Sugar. Rebecca Sugar helped. Rebecca Sugar did a couple bits of music and wrote a few episodes. It's not created by her. It's made by a guy called Pendleton Ward. Yeah, and through him, that's how Rebecca Sugar got their show. So, it was not made by her, but she did take over for a couple episodes. But anyway,
right, well,
wasn't it like?
I gotta watch it because it's a good show. I've heard good things about it.
Wasn't it like it was supposed to go to Nickelodeon, but Nickelodeon was like, no, we don't want it. Let's go with Fanboy and Chum Chum.
The story was Penn made he made two shorts, one of which was called Bravest Warriors, which ended up being a YouTube series in the end. But the other one, Adventure Time, it was pitched to Nickelodeon. And Nickelodeon, I get Nickelodeon's logic because it's like, why would we rather have a traditionally animated thing when there's this new technology with like fucking CGI and all that? I see where they're coming from, but like, damn, they really missed out.
Nothing beats hand drawn. Honestly, God.
What is it with Nickelodeon and turning down really good shows?
Because if it's not SpongeBob, we don't want it. That's their mentality.
If it's not successful instantly, it goes to Nicktoons and dies.
I'm sure you guys all know what the modifiers is for reasons I don't need to explain.
The modifier sounds very familiar. Hang on, let me look it up. The modifiers.
You okay? So I'm assuming you don't know. Well, that's going to be awkward to explain.
This looks
Oh.
this looks like the goth GF meme, but
Okay, so
I've
let me
definitely seen this,
okay, so
but
let
not
me
on the
explain.
website you're probably thinking of.
Okay, so
Bruh.
allow me to explain. So this was a pilot that was pitched to Nickelodeon, but they
Mhm.
turned it down.
Damn.
And the actual it's a pretty good pilot. It's got a really creative premise and like a really cool setting. But most people know it because of the porn parody.
Yeah.
George, so you admit that you
I
have
don't know.
watched it?
Yeah, I think it was the crew that actually made that. And
I
yeah,
think
that's
it was a
Why?
zone. I think it was a
that's
zone
why most
parody, but
people
oh
know it.
well. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It exists, and
George,
we
did you
know it
enjoy
exists.
it?
No, it
Good.
was sent to me. I watched it, and I thought, oh, it's a Nickelodeon thing. Like they explained it to me as if it was the actual pilot, and they explained it to me. I'm not gonna say who it was because I don't want them getting like mobbed or something. But they explained it to me like it was the real pilot. I watched it. And I was like, dude, why? Why did you send me this? But anyway,
Yeah,
yeah,
if you haven't seen the actual pilot, I recommend it because the actual pilot is pretty good.
yeah.
I kind of wish it became an actual show because it's pretty interesting.
God,
Mm.
people, I'm sorry to our audience for us talking about stuff like this. I didn't want to, but
Oh
here we
I
well.
are
mean,
anyway.
Back to Adventure Time.
I'm pretty sure as soon as I said modifiers, the audience knew what they were in for.
I didn't honestly.
It sounded very familiar. I searched it up. I saw the characters. I was like, oh wait, I've seen this somewhere else. But anyway, back to Adventure Time. I remember one and SpongeBob meeting up together, and they just have a little argument or whatever. It was really funny, and I can't find it anymore. But um, yeah, fuck, I could have used that as a segue, but oh, whatever.
But
Anyway,
okay, are we moving away from SpongeBob now?
yeah.
All right, before we do that, let's just say, what are your your favorite episodes? Top three or top five favorite episodes?
Fuck.
For me, Band Geeks, Chocolate with Nuts, Christmas Who, Sailor Mouth, and if I did I already say Idiot Box?
I don't
No,
think
you
so.
didn't.
No,
You didn't
then
already say
Idiot
that.
Box, yeah.
I like I like the first episode. I like um I like the one where Squidward is in like the time machine or whatever and everything's chrome. I like the movie, but that's not an episode, so I like the one with the hash slinging slasher in it.
Graveyard
Um,
Shift, yeah. Graveyard Shift is
Yeah.
funny.
mine.
It's
I'm.
creepypasta the episode.
I
Mm.
guess mine would be Band Geeks, Chocolate with Nuts, and I guess Employee of the Month. That's not a very certain list, by the way. Like I said earlier, it's very hard to pick favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah. I instantly after I said mine, I thought of the one where they deliver pizza. But
Yeah,
yeah.
pizza
Yeah,
delivery is
pizza
really good
delivery.
too.
Mm.
Again,
I
another.
cannot!
Yeah, yeah. Um oh god, but yeah, back to Adventure Time. Uh yeah, Nickelodeon ditched Adventure Time for Fanboy and Chum Chum because they thought it would be like, oh wow, this new technology, we can do so much with it, and they didn't really do much, but they worked with what they had.
Well, we know you
Uh,
like it.
it was okay at best, but anyway, uh, yeah. After that, Penn just kind of like vibed for a bit, and then he was like, "Hmm, I wanna pitch this to Cartoon Network," and they were like, "Yep, go ahead, make it a show." Uh, so he made it. Uh, he changed he changed the main character Penn's name to Finn. Just because, and
Seems like
yeah,
Cartoon Network had all the good shows of the 2010s.
Yeah. um. Actually, I'd argue that the beginnings of, ironically enough, we've just hopped off SpongeBob saying the first couple seasons were the best. I'd say that Gumball, when it first started, it was very weak, but then it like developed into something cool. Especially now that the voice actor is allowed to do whatever the fuck he wants, and just say shit like
I
"I will
watched the
eliminate the
first
middle class" in the
couple.
voice.
I watched the first couple episodes of Gumball in season 1.
Hmm.
It was okay.
It was okay for, fuck, how old was I when it came? I was like 10, maybe. It was okay for when it came out, but it definitely got better with time. Um, Art style was more refined, the humor was more refined. Regular show though, I never really got into. I liked a couple jokes from a couple episodes, but I
I
didn't
don't
like
think I've
it.
ever actually watched regular show.
To
I
me,
never
it's
watched it.
boring, but people like it. Yeah.
But we all know that Mordecai is a simp.
Oh yeah. I mean,
One show that I actually did watch. This isn't Cartoon Network, of course, but one show that I actually did watch as it was coming out was Gravity Falls.
oh yeah.
Yes.
Gravity Falls was really good. It
Yeah.
was a good show.
Yeah.
Mm.
I got into it.
I did kind of fall off of it after of it, like the first time it aired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that happening too.
Yeah, I got into it. I didn't watch it as it aired on the first season. I only got into it before the second season started airing, because that's when I got into the show. And I was like,
Yeah.
man, there's
See,
actually like a
I
really
was the
cool
opposite.
mystery.
When season 2 came out, that's kind of when I lost interest. Like
Mm.
I've seen all of season 1, I've seen some of season 2, but I haven't seen the whole thing.
Watch season 2. It's pretty good. I like it better than the first season.
I already know the twist. I know that
Hold on. Spoiler
Sprinkle Sam has
alert.
a brother.
Spoiler alert for those of you that haven't seen the show.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you haven't seen it by now, or if you don't know the twist by now,
It's like, damn. Where have you been?
yeah, like have you been living under a rock?
Where would have you been living in a can? What are you poor?
George, it's
Sorry,
not
I'm
nice to
sorry,
make fun
viewers.
of the economically disadvantaged.
I'm sorry, viewers. If you let me finish, but anyway, yeah, carry on, Brennan.
Yeah, I know I know the basics about season 2. I
Hmm.
I kind of get the picture. So I mean, maybe I'll watch all of it someday, but I'm not real compelled
Yeah.
to watch the rest.
Uh,
Yeah,
I remember I was the same. I watched the first season all the way through. I kind of dipped for a couple episodes of season 2, and I hopped back on when I heard the show was ending. So I watched the last couple episodes leading up to the finale, the last 3.
the
Uh,
last episode I remember watching was the one where Seuss gets a dating simulator.
Oh, Seuss and the
oh
Real
yeah.
Girl. The FNAF
Yeah,
episode.
that one.
I remember I
I think
didn't
that's
watch
the last
that, and
episode
it's
I
funny you
watched.
mentioned that, Cynic. I remember I didn't watch that one, like, on TV. I remember it was spread around a lot because it was of course, as you said, it was the FNAF episode. But yeah, fucking God, I remember that.
Yeah. It was like a legit coincidence more than anything that FNAF got popular when this episode aired.
Mm,
Yeah.
But it worked, and that's good.
actually, no, wait, because it aired early in the US, right? Okay,
Yeah.
I forgot about that part. Whoops. What other shows? What other shows do we
I
remember
feel
coming
like,
out?
I mean, we talked about this before, but I think we've all seen this one. I think the audience has seen it too. Ed, Ed, and Eddy.
I don't remember that one coming out, of
I
course,
used to
but
be-
yeah.
I never watched it as a kid, but for a little while I used to be really into Ed, Ed and Eddy. It's a
Mm,
good, very good cartoon.
Yes. For those that don't actually know, it was the last, like, uh, it's the last cartoon to be drawn and, like, painted by hand.
yeah, traditionally animated.
First four
I
seasons.
thought that was SpongeBob.
No,
actually.
SpongeBob was just for season 1, but Ed and Eddy kept doing traditional animation until 2004, I think. Then for season
Huh.
5, then for season 5 they changed to digitally painting it, and it looks way different, and it doesn't look as good.
Mm,
But they still like they drew everything, every single frame with a pencil.
yeah. I remember
If I
a
can
very
break
specific
fourth
memory
wall
about it.
jokes. Oh, speaking of fourth wall jokes, Chowder. I actually
Oh,
watched that one as a kid.
that aired late, but I liked it.
I saw like
I was very
some
into it.
episodes of it. I never really got into it. There was like some good episodes, but like overall, I never really got into it compared to other shows.
The one I could never get into was fucking Flapjack. I could never get into that show. It was way too weird.
Which is
I
funny.
think that was Pen Mod too.
Which is
Pendleton, same Adventure Time guys. So,
it's funny because it was written. Alex Hirsch worked on it, I think.
mm,
That
mm.
would explain a lot.
Yeah, it's where the Cal Arts thing comes from. Because didn't Alex Hirsch go to Cal Arts? I think.
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, actually, I don't. I'm not sure.
Well,
But yeah,
I
his Gravity Falls is one of the big quote unquote Cal Arts shows.
because I know Penn went to Cal Arts, and through Penn, like I guess Alex had his start. I guess Rebecca had her start. But because of that, because they were all sort of related in that way, like I guess they're all roped in with the Cal Arts style, even though they're all completely different. Like you put Adventure Time and Steven Universe next to each other, yeah, conceivably they could exist in the same universe, but not really. It's not the same art
Like
style at
they have
all.
similarities in the animation style. Like all like the cartoons of the 2010s, they have similar styles,
Yeah.
but they're not exactly the same.
Yeah, they're all very, very similar, but that's just because I guess it's either marketing or just everybody following trends or something.
It no, it really is. It was just what the style of the decade was.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm looking up stuff about head writers on the show. Apparently, Andrew Brenner wrote an episode of Gumball.
Holy shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Man's been everywhere. Jesus
interesting.
Christ.
Yeah, he wrote. He has a writing credit for the episode called "The
Um,
Responsible," the second episode of the first season.
what did he write?
The second episode of
What,
the first
sorry?
season.
God damn it, you keep fucking cutting out. What's wrong?
I said no, nothing's wrong. He wrote the second episode of the first season.
Okay. I remember watching that
I
one.
watched that one.
Huh.
I think because
Small
I remember
world.
I started with the first episode and then I watched like 2 or 3 episodes of Gumball
Yeah.
in season 1, like from the beginning. So I probably watched the one Andrew Brenner wrote.
Nice.
Well,
I don't know how I didn't notice the fucking writer credit then.
I put it down in the chat. So
I think I've definitely seen this episode. Hang on. Yep, seen it.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit. That's awesome. Well,
The more you know. But anyway, back to animation styles. Yeah, the quote unquote CalArts style, that's just the animation style of the decade.
Yeah.
Like pretty much every decade in animation has a specific style.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like fuck, like the 80s, it was like basically anything that looked similar to He-Man. Like
Hmm.
very like realistic looking character designs,
Absolutely fucking henchmen
buff
and like
dudes,
skimpy women.
shit like that.
Yeah.
The 90s, the 90s style was basically not having a style.
Yeah, it was
The
very
running thing
mishmash.
with the 90s was just doing whatever the fuck you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Uh, well, that and like trying to be Ren and Stimpy, basically.
I guess.
Yeah.
But we
But
don't talk about this show anymore.
yeah.
Not really. I guess for the 2000s it would be Flash animation
Yeah.
because that was new.
That was
And then
definitely My
during
Little
the
Pony's fault, but oh
2010s,
well.
it was like quote unquote CalArt style.
Yeah. Yeah, it is very like Adventure Time came out before regular show, but it was very obvious that regular show took like large influence from Adventure Time because of course Mordecai and Rigby, it's like tall and small, but they both have noodle arms or whatever, and with Finn and Jake, it's tall and small. But yeah, I guess it's just recognizable, I suppose. And one of the last cartoons I think to come out of that era would be OKKO? Question mark?
Isn't that still going?
It's still
No,
going.
I think it got canceled.
Oh,
That's another one I haven't watched, but I've heard good things about.
yeah. I don't think it's too late for me to watch it at this point, so
It's
I'm
too
not
late to
gonna.
apologize.
Yeah.
But
There.
anyway,
Oh wait, there's also Infinity,
Infinity
which
what,
I've
sorry?
again heard tons of good things about.
it's Infinity
Oh,
Train.
Infinity Train. Right. That was very recent. No, wait, it wasn't. I'm doing that thing where I think, oh, it was like last year, but then you go and look and it was like 2016 or something. Um,
Mm.
Well, it got popular in the past couple years.
yeah. I remember Over the Garden Wall. I watched like a couple episodes of that, but really wasn't my thing. But
But
people seem to like
yeah.
it.
But anyway, back to Ed, Edd and Eddy. We get sidetracked a lot when we talk about cartoons.
Yeah.
But back to Ed and Eddy. For those that don't know, like I said, it was the last show to use traditional animation up until 2004, because literally the guy who made the show, his motto is F digital. He literally just flat out just said fuck digital, which is ironic considering what happened. Hmm?
Remember when Danny how the fuck do you pronounce his
Danny
last name?
Antonucci.
Antonucci?
Yeah.
Remember when he straight up lied to fans like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to show what's under Double D's hat." And then he just didn't.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, part of the fun is not knowing about it and just speculating.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
that's the running joke, but like I saw that interview because like, well, obviously this was long after the show ended, but like I was just seeing I was seeing that interview, and then I watched Big Picture Show for the first time. I was like, "Oh, are we gonna see what's under Double D's hat?" And then he fucking censored it, and I was like, "Are you fucking serious?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
like, "Oh, I really wanted to know what the fuck was underneath his hat."
Okay, so here's the story about why he wears the hat. Is because as a kid, Danny accidentally burned off a large part of his hair, so he had to wear a hat to hide it from his parents.
Yeah.
That-
So it is a bald spot.
No, that's not. Well, that's different. That's just the origin of the hat. But what I think it is, based off context clues, is that it's just like a massive scar or something.
Oh.
Yeah, like
Damn.
whether it's from like
I've heard a lot of theories about like what's under there.
I mean, the fact that
And
Ed literally asks, "Does it hurt?" and then rubs the back of his head afterwards kind of implies it's probably like a scar or something.
What if
yeah,
it's
I guess
just
that makes
another
sense.
small version of him?
A conjoined twin. Yeah,
Oh
people have
yeah, I
suggested
No,
I
that.
not even
there's a
conjoined. It's
theory that
just
like
there.
Ed has a Siamese twin under there.
No,
Like
just
that's
a
a legit
smaller version
theory.
of him.
So it's like that episode of Family Guy where Peter has like a mini Peter.
No, I'm not telling. I'm not saying he's conjoined. I'm just saying he's another smaller version of him.
No, I know, but do you know what you know what I'm referencing?
I
Yeah,
am. I know what you're
I
referencing because I've watched every Family Guy clip in the universe.
Hmm.
I've not watched an episode. I've watched all the clips though. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but that's what I think is under his hat is a massive scar.
Yeah.
yeah,
Probably from
that
like an
would make
incident during
sense.
childhood because he's afraid of dodgeball, so it probably is like he got a massive like head injury and they had to do surgery and the scar's still there. That's my theory. I could be wrong.
Hmm.
Jord, what do you think it is?
I'd say he's a
Wait, you
little
already
man.
said. You already said it.
I thought it was a
Tiny,
joke. I thought
tiny
it was a
bit, a
joke,
tiny bit
yes.
of the under there.
It was a joke, but like, come on, I kind of want it to be real now. um.
Brennan, how about you?
I would say, yeah, the scar sounds pretty plausible. That or like that or he's like bald under there,
Hmm. But he
or
does
has a
have
bald.
he does have hair because of like the three strains of it down the back.
Oh,
Hmm.
right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Believe me, I am
Ah.
a big fan of the Ed. I am a big like knowledgeable guy about the Ed and Eddy lore. Meanwhile, Jord can't even differentiate Ed and Eddy.
I can differentiate them. It's just I forget which one's which.
Then which one is which?
I know which one is which. I know there's a tall one. I know there's the small one, and I know there's the smart one. But I don't know which names go with which.
Okay, Double D or Ed with two D's. He's the smart one with the hat.
I knew Double D. Yeah.
Small one, that's Eddy, and then the
Mhm.
tall one's Ed.
Okay.
Ed is the brawn. He is a moron, but he has the might of Zeus.
Yeah.
He will eat an entire metal slide if he has a pebble in his shoe.
Otherwise known
Oh,
as Joey Turner Henry.
that's right. Okay, that's my favorite episode of that Ed and Eddy.
Little Ed Blue.
The one where Ed's pissed off.
Yeah, Little Ed Blue.
Yeah,
I love how like
that
yeah.
is one of my absolute favorites.
Yeah, I think what I love about it is that like it perfectly encapsulates the feeling of having a pebble in your shoe. You're just so pissed.
Mm.
Like it may just be me, but like if I have a pebble in my shoe, it just makes me angrier every time I step on it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Worst part is if like you have to be somewhere and you can't you cannot like
You can't take your
you
shoe
can't
off and then
stop.
just take it.
Yeah, you can't stop, you gotta go. You gotta go. That's when it's the worst.
That's fucking annoying.
Yeah, but no, that episode is great. I love my favorite character is Ed because I mean they're all great. Ed is my favorite because he's just like this lovable like he's a moron, but he's humorously idiotic. He's just a simple guy who likes watching the world fly by around him. And like he likes comic books and he has a very active imagination, but he's an idiot, but you love him for it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like Double D is the neurotic, like weak guy, but he's the smartest kid, and he should probably get a Nobel Prize for his contributions to science
Yeah.
at such a young
Oh yeah,
age.
there's the one episode where they fucking straight up break reality.
Yeah, they break
Yeah.
the fourth wall. Yeah.
Oh my god, I just had a thought. Did you ever oh fuck. Did you ever know somebody who was really like big into Invader Zim and
Yeah.
you couldn't talk to them because they only wanted to talk about Invader Zim?
No, I knew people who
No.
liked the show, but they never talked about it to the point where it was annoying.
This is definitely just a me problem then. Fuck.
Tell your story.
Anyway, I knew this kid who was really into Invader Zim, and I didn't know what the actual fuck they were talking about half the time. Wait, hang on. What was Invader Zim on? Nickelodeon or
Yeah, it was
Cartoon Network?
That was Nickelodeon.
Right. Yeah, because Nickelodeon has the weirdest stuff. But yeah, they would not stop talking about Invader Zim, and I had no clue what they were talking about. I was like, I like SpongeBob. But yeah, it was only like a year after I left that school, or well, fucking grew up rather, that I found out what Invader Zim was. And then I just thought they were fucking weird. Like
To
it's a
be
good
fair,
show. Don't get me wrong.
I think Invader Zim used to be pretty popular.
Yeah. No, that's how I found out about it, because like I started watching Rebel Taxi and I was like, oh, and he mentioned Invader Zim, so I was like, oh yeah, that. So I searched it up and I was like, wait, what is this? And I found out it was really popular. And everything just sort of clicked because I kept seeing fan art of Invader Zim, not knowing what the fuck it was, and then I was like, oh, that's the shit they were talking about.
Hmm.
Like it's a good show, don't get me wrong, but they were really weird for liking it that much.
Hmm.
Um,
It got a movie recently, didn't it?
yeah, that's what clicked it for me for some reason. While you were talking about Ed and Eddy, I remember the movie because I watched it and it was okay. Uh,
What was
yeah,
it called? Like Enter the something?
Florpus, maybe.
Yeah,
I'm unsure.
that's probably it.
I think that's right. I think that's what it was called.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Ed, and Eddy is a great show. It's basically about bunch of. What I liked most about it is how you knew no matter who it was you were who watched it, you can identify with one of the characters, or you knew somebody who was that character.
Yeah.
Like we all have a Jimmy, like that's that probably gay kid who is just like very neurotic.
Well,
We have Kevin the jock.
probably gay. I thought his thing was that he was just a whiny little bitch.
Well, he probably is gay, honestly.
I mean, come on. We all know a plank.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all know a plank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all know We all know a Johnny. We all know a Rolf. Rolf is
Hold
the
on,
funniest character.
please excuse me. I need to take a large chomp out of my ramen brick.
All right.
Oh,
Wait, you're just eating raw ramen?
yes.
Why?
Let me get up to, let me get close up to the mic so you can hear it.
No.
It's real.
Why would
I'll take another bite. Oh.
Well, if you want to hear Jord eating, go on to he has streams. You can hear.
Donate $50 and I'll eat more.
Yes. If we get to 50 followers, Jord will chew down on ramen live. It's an ASMR.
Anyway,
yeah.
you two can fuck off. This shit's good.
I've never actually eaten ramen.
It is good. I promise.
But yeah, we all know a Rolf. We all know that foreign kid who we have no idea what their culture is, but we love them for it because they're funny. We all know a Sarah, the stupid little sister who is just whiny, schnivelly, and annoying. Yeah. And I don't even know what my favorite episode of the show would be. There's a lot of great episodes, and they all basically encapsulate like being a 10-year-old.
How about just the show?
The show is great. No, season 5 has some weak episodes, so I can't place the entire show.
isn't that
but just
isn't that
this
the one where
once.
isn't that the season where they just put them in school for whatever reason?
Well, yeah, and I mean, I understand why they did it because it's an interesting angle to take with the characters.
True. It doesn't really work as well though with the school, the entire school being devoid except for these 8 children.
That is true. Yeah, that's
or
always.
however many there are. I don't know if
So
How
there were
many
like
of them are
12.
Let's see. There's the 3 Eds. There's Johnny, Kevin, Naz, Rolf, Sarah, Jimmy, and the Cankers. Cankers who basically they commit rape. But
Okay, that's a bit of an over exaggeration, but all right.
well, okay. If a guy did it, or
don't
like
get into the logistics of Edit and Eddy like things, okay? We don't need a 4-page thesis on why the Eds didn't give consent. Whatever. Anyway, moving on.
well, no, I'm just saying that like
Um,
I just find it
L.
interesting that if you change the gender roles, it'd be totally different. But that's all I'm gonna say about it.
okay, moving on. So like it's the school setting is weird because like the entire school is just devoid of people except for this specific group of children. In like the cul-de-sac, it makes a little more sense because like, you know, it's just a neighborhood. Like there's not in your neighborhood, there's not many people, you know, out and walking around. And you can just infer their parents are all inside or whatever.
Yeah.
But like in the school setting, it's so weird because the hallways are just fucking deserted except for these specific children, and it's weird. It doesn't work as well.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't do that for long. I'm glad that was like a 1-season thing.
Yeah. I am also glad that the show actually ended when it did and didn't drag itself out like SpongeBob or any other show. The movie is wonderful. I think we can all agree that the movie was the best end to the show.
Oh yeah, I've seen, like I said earlier, I've seen the movie, and the movie is really good.
Yeah. I actually like the movie came out when I was actually allowed to watch cartoons. So I actually watched it live and I really enjoyed it and I was like, I want to watch more, and the show ended. That was the end of the show.
Yeah. We got reruns.
Yeah, we got reruns too, but then after a while they just stopped rerunning it, so I've never been able to find it on TV.
One specific memory I have of reruns.
Kiss Cartoon now.
Oh.
Well, you got sites like Kiss Cartoon, Watch Cartoon Online now if you want to get.
Are those still up? I thought Kiss Cartoon got taken down.
Well, I mean, if not Kiss Cartoon, then there's a billion other sites just like it.
Go to 123movies.com
and sell your soul.
We're not sponsored. Anyway, one specific memory I have of Ed, and Eddy was I remember I really, really didn't want to go to school one day. So what I did was I faked having injuries and I was like, Mom, my entire body hurts. And she believed it because I couldn't prove it in any way. So every time she touched like a limb, I go, ow! And that's it. So she takes me up to my grandparents' house, and it's only my grandmother home. And she's like, well, what the fuck's wrong with you? And I say, nothing, I'm dying. And that's it.
So, wait, did you just like watch Ed, and Eddy the whole day then?
Yeah.
Where did Ed, and Eddy tie into this?
Hang on, BRB.
Oh.
Wow, George's gonna leave us in the middle of his story. That's pretty rude. But I suppose I may as well continue talking about Ed, and Eddy while we wait for Jord. I can't think of a single episode from the show I don't like. There's so many great episodes about it that I really wish I had seen when I was growing up. But alas, I can only watch them now. But it's really, I really enjoy the way the show ended. I really like how basically they got accepted. Spoilers, they got accepted into the group of kids.
The group.
Yeah, they're part of the group now. I like how Eddy was given a whole lot of depth. Where basically, like, again, spoilers for those who haven't watched the show. Basically, it's revealed that Eddy is a victim of sibling abuse, and pretty much has like Stockholm syndrome for his brother, where like, I don't know if you noticed this, but like throughout the show, Eddy gets more and more angry and like violent with everybody because his brother's popular, so he's trying his hardest to emulate his brother. And when it doesn't work, when he tries it subtly, he becomes more and more on the nose with it. Which is
that's not Stockholm.
I have returned.
I mean not start. I don't know what the I don't know the proper term is, but like that's the best I can think of because basically
Oh,
not
are you guys talking about that theory?
what
That
theory?
one theory about Ed and Eddie?
He's diving into Eddie's psyche or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh
Uh,
god.
But point is, Eddie idolized his abuser for the sake of having friends.
Huh.
right.
Oh, his brother.
I
Right,
mean,
yeah.
yeah. I mean,
I guess.
I haven't seen the movie in like 5 years, but yeah, I know his brother's there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, like Eddie says, I made it all up. Everything about my brother was a lie, and he made everything up because he wanted people to like him.
Hmm.
So basically, Eddie grew up all alone, and he just wanted to have friends, but no one gave him a chance. And I mean, he was kind of a jerk, but all the same.
I mean, you try to scam him every fucking week, so
Yeah.
I don't blame him, but
In their defense, the kid. I mean, yeah, they tried to scam people all the time, but everyone else in the neighborhood are the idiots who kept falling for it. So
yeah.
hmm One
No,
of my
the theory.
yeah. What's your theory?
Fuck. The theory, not my theory. I didn't come up with this.
are like the purgatory theory?
The theory, yeah. The
Oh.
theory that all the kids died at some point or
It's-
whatever. Eddie died at
I-
wait.
I
Shit,
feel
no,
like
it is Eddie.
I mean, it's a neat theory, but I feel like it's like looking too deep into a lot of things.
Problem with it is it came during a time where every single cartoon had to have that theory.
Mhm.
Where it's
Yeah.
like Angelica from Rugrats made it all up in her head, and Lil and Phil or whatever they're called, they have two fetuses, and that's why they look so weird. And
Yeah.
it's like, bro,
For a little segue into my topic.
hmm.
See, now all those shows have that theory, but with Steven Universe, the show is the theory.
Okay.
All
Okay.
the dark shit is just in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
no theory necessary. Just watch the show.
Yeah. Real quick before we transition to Steven Universe, I want to just say some of my favorite episodes.
My brother's home with dinner, so you guys can keep
Shit.
talking about Ed and Eddie while I go eat.
Yes.
We'll finish up very quickly on Ed, and Eddie,
Yes.
and then
He's
we'll
got
move on.
he's got to replenish on his gold dust.
Yeah.
Yes. But I want to give a shout out. All right. One of my personal favorite episodes is It Came from Outer Ed, which is basically the episode where Ed is put in charge of a scam. And
Yeah.
I'm sure you know which one I'm talking about, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Continue.
It's an episode where Ed gets a new comic book called The Curse of Evil Tim. And he wants to do a scam because he gets an idea in his comic. He's like, I want to do a scam, but he doesn't tell Eddie or Double D that it's from his comic book. So they're just like, he says things like, you have to like find rotten spaghetti noodles, or you have to it is very important that you give Eddie these pancakes. And like Ed does a sacrifice of a stuffed rabbit. And then like there's this great part during the opening where Ed literally picks up a tree from its roots and crushes Double D, who's trying to disguise himself as a monster.
Yeah.
It's part of a scam. It's the funniest thing. And then like there's Rolf and his pet clam Bobo, and then everyone's just like, "Is that a giant clam?" It's the funniest thing. You can't find it on YouTube, but it's basically Ed just trying to like be the mastermind of a scheme, and it's the funniest freaking thing. Because he's so inept, but it's so funny watching him be inept.
Yeah.
What else is there? There's OED's 11, which is a pun of Ocean's 11, which is basically the Eds go to find treasure from a map they find in Eddie's brother's house. That one I like a lot. There's May I Have This Ed, which is where Double D has anxiety about going to the school dance, which is funny and is, I think, a good episode for kids to watch. That one's from season 6, but it's really good. What else is there? There's Run Ed Run. That one's a childhood favorite. The episode where they have to go to the Jawbreaker factory. They're going on a Jawbreaker factory field trip, but Ed thinks the sky's falling. So they actually do end up hitting the sky, where it turns out like the sky is just a TV screen, and behind it is static.
Hmm.
I'm not making this up, by the way. This is real.
No, I saw the clip. It's very good.
Yeah, it's very funny. Plus, like Double D's contraption is great.
Hmm.
What else is there? I'm trying to think of episodes that I absolutely love. There's Take This Ed and
One
Shove It.
more.
There's Take This Ed and Shove It, which is really good.
Hmm.
Which is basically the episode where like everyone gets old and like basically it's about the Eds accepting the fact that they're going to age and no longer be children. And spoilers, it's revealed that the whole show is basically just Eddy as an old man recounting the episodes as stories to the other Eds who are also old. So basically, moral of the story is childhood is like fleeting, and you're only gonna be young once. You're gonna
It
get
won't
old and
last forever.
you're gonna
Make
get
the most
yeah.
of it.
You're gonna get old and die. That's the message.
Yeah.
Yes, but George, your favorite episodes?
My favorite. I don't remember specific episodes. I just remember like gags and shit.
Yeah.
This isn't necessarily an episode. It's more of a meme.
Mhm.
But it's that picture Avengers has, which I'm sure they can link in chat. But it's just of Rolf smacking like Eddie or something. And the captain's just like, shut your ass. And that's it. It's really good. Shut your ass is very good. I like it. Yeah.
Is that really it?
I guess so. I guess I could go into the next topic, which I came up with off the top of my head.
Which is
Which is, I'll get into Half-Life later, but another thing that I'm oddly interested in is like Japan. For like that's it. I just like Japan for some reason. Also, very specifically, like this artist named Rodney Greenblatt, who was the character designer for a little game called Parappa the Rapper.
yes.
And yeah, he designed those little characters, not knowing that it was going to be like on the play. He knew it was going to be on the PlayStation. He didn't know it was going to be that big, though. And he thought, oh, it's just a little character. I'll doodle him. And what he thought the game was going to be was like really violent. So he designed the cutest character he could. But little did he know, rap in Japan is like way different from rap in like other countries. So he drew the cutest character he could. Did all the cast, gave it to the Japanese Sony guys. They made the game, and he was very pleased with it in the end. But then it like blew up. Not so much in the West, but more in Japan. Like it was everywhere for a period. Japan really loves their mascots, I gotta say. Of course, with minimal mention of him, they really fucking love Thomas. He's everywhere over there. They like anime a lot. They have those big screens where it has like certain characters speaking down to you, which look like Dr. Breen from Half-Life 2. It's really dumb, but they have it, I guess. And of course, Sonic's everywhere. Mario's everywhere. But yeah, Parappa was everywhere, and he didn't expect to have like so much merchandise made. So what ended up happening was his regular store, like RodneyGreenblatt.store or whatever, that ended up like not having so much sales with his normal stuff, but all the Parappa stuff was sold out every day for a long time. Because a lot of Japanese people really wanted the Parappa stuff. And he just had to design more stills and stuff to put on merch. And it was just this whole thing for a long, long time. Yeah, Japan is very strange, but it's a very beautiful country. I've never been, and I want to go. I don't know, that's all I wanted to say. And I can't read stream chat, fuck.
Avenger says she has no idea what you're talking about when it comes to.
It doesn't matter. Even if you look into what I'm talking about, you're not gonna understand.
Hmm,
That's all there is to it. I'm sorry.
hmm.
But yeah.
But
Uh, hmm.
trying to think. So how about Sonic?
Sonic is a mess.
Do you like Sonic?
I like Sonic very much. I do like Sonic.
Hmm.
But it is a mess. Not, and that's excluding everything to do with the fan base. Sonic itself is a mess. It does not know what it wants. The best Sonic game to come out recently was a game that they had fans to make. They had Christian Whitehead, who did the ports for Sonic 1 and 2 on the mobile things.
Mm-hmm.
And he did Sonic CD or something. And he did like all the ports for Xbox Mobile, PS4, whatever. Then they got another indie company who he like previously worked with. And they retro engine, which was made for the Genesis, and ended up making Sonic Mania. But everything the official Sonic team makes now is like an absolute mess, and no one likes it. It's very strange, and yeah.
What's your favorite Sonic game?
My favorite Sonic game. See, I can't pinpoint that down because I like Adventure, but it's not as good as people say it is. It's very jank. Adventure 2 is way better, but I don't. It's a better game objectively, but I like Adventure 1 better. But I also like Sonic 3 over that too.
Hmm.
But that's mostly because of the music, not necessarily the gameplay. It's a very mishmash series, and a lot of people are in it for the characters mainly.
Sonic
Not so
Adventure,
much the games.
Sonic Adventure has definitely not aged well with time.
Mm. It sucks that it had to be a Dreamcast game because so much stuff could have been done which they couldn't do because of the Dreamcast controller, and it sucked ass, bro. It's a very nice looking console, but like they didn't have a secondary joystick, so they couldn't do cameras good. You had to use the bumper pads, and it was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, please excuse me. I'm opening a bar of chocolate. I hope that doesn't get annoying.
Oh, go ahead.
But yeah. Oh, yeah.
Uh, who's your favorite character?
My favorite character might. Oh, Eggman. I
Eggman?
like Eggman.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And since we're talking about Sonic, I feel the need to mention, yes, I have seen the Sonic movie. Jord has not, because he is
No, I've
stubborn.
seen it.
He is
I've
stubborn
seen
and
it. No.
refuses to watch anything.
No, I've seen it.
You have seen it?
Yes, I mentioned it like 3 times.
Oh, my bad. I thought you said you haven't seen it.
No, I didn't seen it. I didn't seen it. I did see it
How recently did you see it?
like a week ago.
Oh.
Mm.
Oh, okay. So that explains why.
Yeah.
Because I think we had a conversation about it where you said, like, nah, I probably am not going to see it.
Mm.
Yeah. Did you
I'm back.
Hi. We're talking about the Sonic
Did,
movie. Did you like it,
did
Jordan?
I like it? It was okay.
Yeah.
It was not as good as people said it was.
I think the reason I liked it is because the movie devs were like, yeah, like, we acknowledge that, like, people don't want it to be set on Earth, but this is what we had to do because hopefully now that this one is popular, we can actually set stuff in other planets and, like, go to new locations.
Mm.
Yeah. But
Um,
I thought it was fun. The CGI is really nice. I really appreciate the fact that they fixed Sonic.
Release the ugly cut. Give us
Apparently,
Gollum Sonic.
apparently there is no ugly cut. The only CGI they animated with that model was what was seen in the trailer.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, that's what's interesting. I also,
Which explains how they could like flip the models so quickly too.
yeah, they
so.
rebounded really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Eggman is definitely a highlight of the movie. Jim
Oh,
Carrey.
Jim Carrey is just a treat in every film.
Yeah. Look what came out
Oh,
of
Jim
my
Carrey.
egg sack. That cracked me up.
Mm.
And then of course Sonic
Cracked
flossed.
you up?
But I'm just. There's also the part where he talks about breastfeeding, and he's like, "Nice, way to rub it in my orphan face."
Yeah.
I haven't seen the movie, but I've heard it's good.
Yeah,
Can't spoil it. It's not as good as people say it is, but it's a good movie.
yeah. Then there's a part where Sonic flosses twice.
Yeah.
To be fair, I
Mhm.
can see Sonic flossing in universe.
If I saw Sonic flossing, if Sonic was real and I saw him flossing, I would just take a paddle and smack him as hard as I could. This has nothing to do with Fortnite bad. I just don't ever.
No, but like I enjoyed it. It was a good story for what it was. The actors, it's basically a '90s movie made in 2020.
Mm.
That's the best way I can describe it. Like I can picture this is the Space Jam of modern day movies. I get the feeling.
Yeah, people are going to be arguing about it for a long time.
Yeah, like
I can tell you that.
yeah, it's not like a great movie, but like it's the best video game movie I've seen.
Hmm.
And it's fun for what it is. It has good bits of humor. Jim Carrey's a treat. The animation is really nice, and I look forward to seeing the sequel. And speaking of the sequel, how'd you feel about the post-credit scene?
Post-credit scene, again, way too hyped up for what it was. But
Are you excited to see? Spoiler for anyone who hasn't seen this movie. So
spoiler, cover your eyes and ears and other orifices if you don't want to be spoiled.
yes. So did you like Tails' design?
Oh shit. Yeah, Tails is essentially just Tails in the games, but realistic, so
Yeah.
yeah.
But I remember when I saw it in theaters, like I had already been like spoiled beforehand, thanks to Twitter, and I was like, Jord, do not like look up anything. Yeah, I was like, Jord, don't look up anything because I know you're gonna be really upset if you spoil yourself. But I remember seeing the theater.
But it turns out I was spoiled anyway.
Yeah. But when I saw it in theaters on release day, there was a whole bunch of kids in the audience, and they were so excited. They were like, "Oh my God, it's Tails!" It was so nice. It was like a Smash reveal. It was like a movie Smash reveal, which was so great.
Oh my god, you just reminded me of something.
Hmm.
You guys know Funny Called Me Carson, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. There's a joke. He had one of his editors make a Steve announcement because he knew people were going to be so mad about it. And what it was is just like it's this like Smash thing where it's like the baseball bat noise, and like it does that, and it's just a Minecraft cave, and then you can hear like. And then, like, the blocks in front of you start breaking, and then Steve walks through, and it's just like Steve minds the competition. Everybody in his comments thought it was real. They were so mad. Then it turned out it wasn't real. I mean, it was obvious it wasn't, but, you know. Very funny regardless.
Yeah. But Sonic movie is really fun. I appreciate the fact that they fixed Sonic's design, and it very much reminded me of '90s movies from way back in my childhood. It was about 25 years after the 1990s, but I still had a good time watching it, and I look forward to seeing what they do with the sequel, which they're definitely going to make, given the fact that the Sonic movie is the third highest grossing movie of this whole year.
Yeah.
Yeah. But moving on from Sonic to something else with the letter S in the name, Brennan.
What the fuck was this? What was I saying before?
You're talking about the funny Stefano universe.
Well, yeah, but like, okay, yeah, I remember. Okay, so, because we were talking about like theories and like how every show has that theory. See, Steven Universe doesn't have that because the show basically is that theory. All the all the dark shit is just in the show.
Hmm.
See, I don't remember where I was going with this because that was before dinner.
Yeah, but why don't you just go into detail as to what you liked about the show?
Well, obviously the characters.
Yeah.
I really like the art style. See, like, people shit on the CalArts art style, but I don't know why. Like, what's wrong with it?
I'm
I
pretty sure
remember
the
I was
reason.
annoyed with it. I was annoyed with it for a while, so I could probably answer for those people. It was just getting kind of annoying seeing samey looking shows. But again, as you mentioned, it was the decade's art style, so that's just like, eh.
Yeah, I was about to say that's probably
Yeah,
it.
Hmm.
yeah. So yeah, art style. Uh, what it's done for representation.
Oh yeah.
Of for for the LGBT, obviously, that's what it's most known for. Autistic people, and there was a third thing I was gonna say, but I forgot what it was.
Yep. Representation for LGBT, autism, the third thing.
For
Yeah,
gamers,
there was a third thing. What the fuck
Not for
was it?
gamers.
Yeah, I guess there was no third thing.
So
I know what you're gonna say. For
yeah.
people suffering from mental illness, right?
Yeah, that too.
Mm.
Hmm.
So yeah, I guess I think what I was going to say was just minorities in general, because I mean there's Connie and she's like a main character.
Mm.
So
Oh fuck.
uh
Oh, pardon me.
but yeah,
I
mental
apologize.
illness in general
Mm.
as well,
Hmm.
because there are a lot of characters in the show that have PTSD. First of all, Steven. Because like that's what Universe Future was all about. It's
You just
literally
reminded me of
all
that
about.
image of Grunkle Stan.
What, the one where he's dying because of the rainbow?
No,
No,
it's
no, no.
like the pink Steven
It
guy, and he's like really stressed on a boat, and then Grunkle stands behind him going, "But a
yeah.
rain is getting better."
The aim is getting
It's
better.
really good.
The aim is getting better.
Yeah.
You see, it's funny because marriage is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what all. And I like that they in Steven Universe Future they address that all the. See, like back in like season 1, it was all just like, oh, wacky cartoon hijinks, but
Yeah.
now they're like, no, it actually did have an effect on him, and I like that. It's like there's like a feeling of like, yeah, there are consequences in this universe.
The there are consequences in this universe. The Steven universe.
Tis.
But except I dropped the stick.
Hmm. But yeah, but Brennan, what is it about the show that like? I mean, I know this is an obvious answer, but like, why did it attract you to it?
Aside from the representation, I'm not really sure what drew me to this show specifically, because how I got into it was the movie was coming out, and people were talking about it on my Twitter time. I obviously I saw clips from other friends. The song, even if you're not into the show, everybody knows by this point.
The song? Do you mean the one that Sans
the
sung? The Funny Man?
what?
Do you mean the song? The one that Sans Funny Man sings?
No.
Oh.
That's from like season 1. I'm talking about the movie.
Oh.
Now, yeah, people were posting clips of Spinell's song, and I was like, oh, hey, she looks pretty cool. She looks like an interesting villain. And then I'd heard good things about the show before, and I was just coming off of MLP ending, so I needed something else to watch. So I was like, oh, fuck it, I'll give it a shot. I watched the movie, and as soon as it was done, I was like, I need more. I require more. And I went to like I went to Kiss Cartoon or one of those some site like that and just started binging the whole show instantly. So yeah, I guess what drew me to it was the characters, I suppose.
Yeah. And we all know who your favorite is.
The Burb mom herself, Pearl.
Yes. And why is that?
Well, firstly, representation. Secondly, she's just I find her to be the most relatable of the OG 4 Crystal Gems, the main 4. And I think aside from being relatable, she's also just a fun character. She's the what's the word? Not a Karen, but like she is very much a white mom. She's what everyone thinks of when you think of like a really like fussy mom.
She's the
And
mom who
her
won't let Steven
interactions
watch the.
with- She's what? What did you say,
Oh,
George?
come on, not even a chuckle!
What
Oh,
would you
No, I
say?
didn't hear what you said.
Oh, fuck. Alright, I said she's the mom who doesn't let Steven watch The Simpsons.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is
Yeah,
my
that's
mom.
accurate.
Uh,
Yeah. And her interactions with pretty much everybody else, especially Amethyst, are just golden. They're just golden. Any other questions?
I mean, I don't
I don't
know.
know, I have
I
no
mean,
way to
to
defend
pretty much go into detail as to why you adore the show, I guess.
I've run out of questions.
See, that's hard because it's hard to I don't know, it's hard to pinpoint what I like about it.
Is it just one of those situations where it's like, I like it?
Yeah.
Thought so.
Do you have any favorite episodes?
Actually, before I go on about that, one thing I do like about it is that it's a good story cartoon. It's a good like I do like the overarching story. Like it's very slice of life at first, but like you kind of ease into the story. So like and even when like the story is like in full swing, there's still slice of life episodes, so it's kind of a mix of both. And I like that.
Ironically enough, that's what killed it for me, to be honest.
What?
That's what killed it for me on my first viewing, to be honest. The slice of life stuff, because we had so much stuff from like regular show.
Season 1 is very slow.
Oh no, I don't mean season 1. I like hopped on late. But it was.
About when did you hop on?
See, I because I'm not a fan of the show, I don't know the seasons. I remember there was an episode where like Steven or something built a rocket ship and Pearl hopped in. They both cried or something.
That's season 1. That's season 1. That's
see.
Space Race, which is season 1B. See, season 1 of Steven Universe is weird because it's 2 seasons combined. There's season 1A and season 1B. And I believe that's season 1B.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess I'm not that late then. Hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, the slice of life stuff just kind of killed it for me because we had already had so much. Like Adventure Time was going through that phase where it was, of course, as you said, wacky, fun time adventure cartoon, but also slice of life. And because I had had enough of that, I went over to regular show. It was the exact same thing, and I was like, okay, well, fucking, what else is on? Steven Universe. Let's have a look at this. Another one for me. All right, I'm just not going to watch it then because that's what I thought it was going to
Yeah.
be. But of course, it
It's
changed. But
yeah. It really starts to pick up around season 2.
mm,
I mean, there is some story in season 1, but a lot of the episodes in season 1 are just slice of life and just like establishing the world building and like just like establishing
mm.
stuff.
I guess that's
Um,
another thing that killed it for me too, because like, not not to bring up Adventure Time fucking constantly, but it was kind of doing the same thing at the same time. So I felt like, oh, if it's going to be this big story, I'd rather stick with the thing I know already and not hop into
mhm.
something new. But yeah, that's just me.
um, there, I feel like there's a lot of episodes in season 1 you could probably just skip and lose nothing.
Mm.
Um, if you all right, if you did want to watch it, I could just give you like a list of like just like the really important episodes that you need to see, and you can just skip everything else.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds
But
cool.
yeah, if
I'll
you
take a
it
look.
really what?
I'll take a look if you send me the list.
Okay. Um, yeah, season 2 is where it really starts to get good because that's when like yeah that they basically that's when they start bringing in like the action like the that's when the actual like story begins, or technically late season 1, but yeah, it the first season is pretty slow. But anyway, back to what Cynic asked me, favorite episodes. um See, I do have favorite episodes, but you guys haven't seen the show, so I would have to explain them. Um, okay.
I mean, isn't
Um,
part of it explaining why you like it, like explaining the story?
okay. Uh, trying to. Okay. Stephen the Sword Fighter, which is a early season 1 episode. Uh, Steve. See, what one of something Pearl does is like she's like really skilled with swords. She's like an expert sword fighter. And Steven, after watching like a movie that had sword fighting in it, Steven wants to like actually like learn some sword fighting
Let
tricks.
me see what you have there.
And
A sword. No!
a knife. That reminds. There's a a fandom meme called like that there's like this fake episode called Steven's Knife. So that's very fitting.
Is it like a creepy
But
pasta?
what I was saying. It's like she's trying to teach him how to she's trying to teach him some stuff, and using a holographic version of herself. Like it's just a thing she can do. And while she's training him, Pearl gets stabbed with a sword, and she poofs into her gem, which is that's not death, but see, it's so much harder to explain. Uh, it it's so much harder to explain outside the show. So like gems, uh, when they get hurt, they their physical form disappears and they go back inside their gems, which is their heart and brain, I guess. It's like that's like the main component. And this is the episode that like establishes this.
Mm-hmm.
Steven's like real shocked because he doesn't know what this means. And the rest of the episode, he's waiting for Pearl to regenerate. And he tries to hang out with the holographic version of her, but it doesn't really go too well. And he ends up having to fight the hologram with some of the skills that Pearl taught him.
Mm-hmm.
Part of why I liked this episode is because it shows how like Pearl is kind of important to the team, because like a lot of Steven's like routine is just disrupted because Pearl is gone. Are you guys still there?
Yeah, we're listening. Very intense.
We're listening intently. Sorry.
You guys were awfully quiet. I just wanted to make sure Discord didn't cut
Sorry,
out
I
again.
muted myself so I could eat steak. This is a very riveting story. Please continue.
Okay, where was I? Yeah. And the whole episode, he just wants Pearl back. And it's very sweet. And that's why I like the episode. Basically all 90% of my favorites are Pearl episodes. Another good one is Coach Steven. Again, this is going to be hard to explain because it involves a core concept of the show. See, Garnet and Amethyst fuse to make Sugilite. And what fusion is two gems can combine to make a new gem. And it can have like a completely different personality from like the two gems that created it.
Yeah.
And Sugilite is just like this huge, aggressive fighter, basically. She just destroys everything, because like they're destroying like this old communication tower to Homeworld.
Mm-hmm.
And Pearl is like, "Oh, are you sure this is a good idea? Because Sugilite is an unstable fusion, and she's like basically like hard to handle, kind of, because she's so aggressive and shit like that."
Mm-hmm.
And Steven starts to idolize Sugilite because she's so strong. And Pearl seems jealous, but she's actually just concerned for Steven. And Sugilite accidentally hurts Steven, and Pearl has to fight them. That's the end of that one.
Oh.
I know I'm terrible at explaining these because a lot of it relies on prior knowledge.
Yeah. So like, are those like your absolute favorites, or?
Those, I wouldn't say those. I don't know if those are my absolute favorites, but that's just a selection. Those are some of my favorites.
What is your absolute favorite?
Oh fuck, I don't know. I don't know if I have a definitive absolute favorite, but one that is up there is an episode called Hit the Diamond. And this one is this one is one of my favorites because it's the perfect cross between the slice of life episodes and the story-based ones. Because this one does help to further the story, but it's still got a lot of like, goofy cartoon hijinks and stuff in it. So what happens is, this is after Peridot officially becomes a crystal gem. What she did was she basically mouthed off Yellow Diamond, and Yellow Diamond is like one of the supreme rulers of Gem Society.
You
So now,
clod.
yeah, she's kind of an outlaw now. And in the previous episode, a ship from Homeworld landed at the barn where she lives, and it created like a white diamond shape in the ground. And the Rubies on board, they want to search the barn, and Steven makes up an excuse that they have to win a game of baseball in order to search the barn. So the whole episode is just them playing baseball. And it's got by far some of the best moments from the show. Can I link videos in the chat? Because I could probably find clips from it.
Yeah. I remember the only episode of Steven that I've actually ever seen was one with Ronaldo and how he's trying to like do an expose on the crystal gems. Like how it's filmed like a stupid online cringe video.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, Ronaldo is just the most annoying character in the show by far.
Yeah, that was the first episode I saw, and I was like, nope, not really a fan.
Well, yeah, of course, because it had Ronaldo in it.
Oh yeah,
he's just the worst thing in the show.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of other people stopped watching because of him.
Actually, I have a good anecdote about Ronaldo involving the fandom. Okay, so there's a season 4 episode called Rocknaldo, and when the episodes were being announced, before they announced that episode, they announced that there was going to be a new gem called Bloodstone. People got really excited. I mean, I wasn't there for this but I've been told the story. People got really hyped for this, and the episode Rocknaldo comes out, and Steven's like, "Oh, if you want to be part of the Crystal Gems, give yourself a gem name. What's Ronaldo's gem name? Bloodstone." So there was no actual new gem. It was just fucking Ronaldo.
My God.
And people were so fucking pissed.
I don't blame him. Was he written out?
No. He's still in. No, he wasn't written out. They just didn't do anything with him after a certain point.
I mean, I don't blame him. He's really annoying.
Yeah, like I said, he's just the worst thing in the show.
Okay. I think we've pretty much exhausted the episodes themselves. I think really the last thing we can talk about is like, why do you like Pearl so much?
Why do I like? Wait, didn't you already ask me that?
Don't think so.
You did.
Well, not specific.
Fucking sorry.
Not with specifics.
Not specifically, but you did explain it. So.
Well, aside from that, like I mentioned earlier, she's autistic coded, and there's a couple characters in the show that are like that, and she's one of them, and she's just the one I find to be the closest to me personally, and that's a big reason why I like her. Aside from all the other stuff I mentioned earlier.
That's nice. Let me think. Is that all about Steven?
Okay, have we exhausted the topic yet?
Before we change the topic, I have one more anecdote that I wanted to share.
Hmm.
About the history of the fandom.
I remember
Okay.
one big incident, but I don't think it's the one you were going to talk about. Proceed.
It's not the shipping one. It's not the shipping.
I'm not thinking about any shipping thing. It's the other one. With the
Okay,
like.
then you and I might be thinking of the same. Okay, so there's an
proceed, and I'll
episode.
tell you.
There's a season 2 episode called Keystone Motel. It's in the middle of a really big character
Oh,
arc.
this one. I remember this one too. Never mind.
Garnet is really pissed off at Pearl. And to get away, so they can have some time apart. Steven, Greg, and Garnet go on a road trip, and they stay at a place called the Keystone Motel. But they're so torn up over this that they unfuse, and the whole episode is about Ruby and Sapphire. But there is a real motel called Keystone Motel. So as a joke, fans started leaving Steven Universe related reviews on their Yelp page.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a bit where Ruby, because she has fire powers, she like boils all the water in the pool. So like people would put shit like that on the Yelp page, and people kept doing this so much that it started affecting their
rating?
business. They were giving them bad reviews as a joke. And I find although that's terrible for the owners, I find that really funny, because imagine reading these reviews from the perspective of the owners who probably haven't seen the show and just having no fucking clue what they're talking about.
Imagine the one employee that's seen Steven Universe, knows what they're talking about, but doesn't know how to explain it. Imagine that.
Yeah, imagine. Like I can just imagine them scrolling down the review page. Toilet's broken. What the fuck?
Yeah.
The little red woman boiled all the water in the pool. What are they talking about? and people still do this today.
Why?
By the way, people still
the poor
do this.
business.
I know, these poor people.
God. Fuck. I was thinking of a different incident, but it's like way too depressing to talk about on stream, so I'll tell you guys afterwards, but Brennan probably will know about it.
We can go ahead and change that.
All right.
One thing wait, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say I think we should switch it over to Jord, because I know he's got something that he's been wanting to talk about since the start of the stream.
Well, originally it was going to be about the original game, but I think to broaden it a little bit, let's talk about Half-Life AI, except it's sentient, or whatever the fuck it's called. Half-Life VR, but the AI is sentient. That's it. Okay. So you're gonna have to read off chat for me, because I can't read it at the moment, but
okay,
it's very good. Brennan's seen like a couple episodes, I think. I don't think he's finished it yet.
I've
basically
done Act 2, Part 1, I think.
Good. Basically the concept of it is this guy is playing, of course, Half-Life in VR, the first game. But what he's done is he's done it in Gmod, and he's had his other friends like act as characters in the game. But like they break the flow of everything. It's like a different game essentially. So what it is in the beginning there's the security guard. Now usually the security guards just let you go right through and get to the test chamber. Oh no. This security guard asks who is presumed to be Gordon Freeman for his passport, and of course he doesn't have one. So the security guard follows him all the way down to the test chamber, and Gordon starts complaining that he doesn't have a HEV suit on. So another scientist walks over and he's like, "Oh, you don't have your passport? Why don't you have your passport?" I don't know. I asked him for his passport, and he just doesn't have it. You need your passport to go into the chamber, Gordon. Just like absolute bullshit, and it's so dumb, but it's very good. And later on, there's like
it is a good series.
later on there's different characters, and one of the characters' names is I'll get to the best one last, but one of the characters' names is Dr. Kuma, and it's based off of that one locker room or locker room door that says Kuma on it. And people think it's funny because of the Kuma meme, but in fact, it's a real person who works at Valve. But anyway, they took the name Kuma because they thought it was funny, made it into a scientist, and his gimmick is he's a broken AI. So every time Wayne or Gordon Freeman talks to him, every single time he just goes, "Hello, Gordon," and that's it. That's
Look,
it. He's just a broken
Gordon,
AI.
You can use these to traverse pits.
Yeah, and he thinks the barnacles are wrong, and every single fucking time there's a barnacle on the roof, he's like, "Look, Gordon, ropes! We can use these to help me, Gordon!" He gets like caught in the barnacles. It's very funny. But there's also another character, Bubby. Bubby is like, he's the scientist. He's like the most sane of them all, I guess, except for Gordon. But yeah, he's a bit like unhinged. There's something up with him. But best character hands down, Tommy. Let's talk about Tommy for a second, because Tommy is we think he's a kid, but he's in fact 36 years old. He's very childlike, but it's not to the point where it's annoying. He's likable. He's a dog named Sunkissed, and he likes drinking soda because it helps him see faster. What else about him? He refers to Gordon as like oh, pardon me. He refers to Gordon as Mr. Freeman every single time. Because he's that formal. But yeah, not Bubby, Tommy is the best character in the series. I strongly urge everybody in chat, whoever's left after my insanely boring rant, please watch Half-Life VR, except the AI is sentient. Please.
Watch it. It's so good.
The ending will not disappoint. Especially the surprise, too.
How many people are in the chat, by the way?
4, I think.
Nice.
Let's see. There's 2 users, then there's Jord, and then there's me. So really only 2 people are watching.
Oh well, everybody in chat. Oh, the 2 people that are in chat, please watch this series. It's so good. The entire thing is like improv. It's Gary's mod and also Half-Life. It's just a good series.
What about Half-Life itself?
Half-Life itself is quite a different story because the wackiness. Because people like watch Half-Life VR. I've noticed on Twitter, they watch Half-Life VR, but they don't actually go and research Half-Life itself. So they think Half-Life VR is its own thing. And they don't realize that Half-Life is an actual game they can play. And yeah, not a lot of people play retro shooters anymore. It's very sad. But yeah. The story of Half-Life is, of course, Mr. Gordon Freeman. He's a 27-year-old scientist, graduated from MIT, and his like 3rd day on the job, he's late. Gets in. There's a big experiment with this crystal opening a portal up, but when he puts the crystal in, it fucks everything over, and aliens come down from a different like planet or whatever, or from a different universe rather. And shit gets fucked up. And, yeah. He's got to escape. He's got to defeat the big boss at the end. And then, Well, as much as I don't like Half-Life 2, it's continued in that game, so yeah. But yeah, it's a very good game, I'd say. People need to play it at least once, even if they don't like it. That's all I have to say. So if you guys can,
That's all you have
if
to say
you
about
guys want to take it,
Half-Life?
I guess. I mean, that's why I wanted to transition. Not so much for Half-Life, but for Half-Life VR, because it's got a little bit more to talk about. It's got characters that people will like understand and recognize.
Hmm.
But it's weird hearing people now refer to the Einstein model as Dr. Kuma. But I guess that's the way it is. It's the Freeman's mind of its time, aka now. But which another thing, if you've not seen Freeman's Mind, it's very good.
Hmm.
Maybe not for everybody, not really in the same comedic vein as Half-Life VR, but it's still pretty good.
Hmm.
So yes, that's all I have to say.
Mm.
Anyone else got anything?
Uh, I don't think so.
Well, I'll switch it over to a more general topic. Favorite movies?
Back to the Future.
That's well. Why do you like?
Damn.
I don't really have to elaborate, so
No, you should because the
Uh,
audience needs to hear.
fine. Well, first of all, it's a time travel movie. How can you not fucking like those? It's a time travel movie. For those who haven't seen it, it's a time travel movie about this kid who's friends with. I'm gonna steal the John Mulaney skit. It's this kid who's friends with a crazed scientist who ends up building a time machine out of a DeLorean car. And it's like, for those who don't know, the DeLorean car was really shit and bad, and that's the joke. But anyway, there's an accident, and he accidentally goes back in time and messes up his parents' meeting, so he's got to get them back together. And it's a very, very funny movie, and the songs are great. The soundtrack, especially, is very high octane and nice, and I recommend it.
The main theme is a bop.
Yeah.
Okay, have you seen the entire trilogy?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of 2 and 3?
One is definitely top tier. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
2 and 3. 2 was my favorite for a while, but then I like reconsidered and I was like, nah, one's better. 2 is it doesn't feel like a sequel more as just an extended cut of the first film, which of course it is. It takes place instantly after the first film ends. 2 was okay, apart from the fact that everything it tried predicting was incorrect.
Well,
Um,
Cubs won the World Series.
I suppose, yeah, but no, wait, they did get the '80s nostalgia thing. They did get the '80s nostalgia thing correct. Also, that fashion would be fucking ridiculous, but yeah. Other than that, almost everything in it was completely off and way off the mark. But it's still a very entertaining movie.
Yeah.
Third one is again doesn't feel like a sequel. Just kind of feels like an extended cut. But it was the extended cut where you could tell they were kind of getting tired of the series and didn't know much more to do with it, or know what else to do with it. So I'm going to spoil the ending of the movie here. Of course, there's the massive train crash at the end, and yeah, you could tell they wanted to end with a bang, but they really didn't know how, so they just ended with a literal bang. And yeah. But one thing I find interesting about the entire series is that Marty, while he is the main character, he's not really the main character. He's not. He has the problem of not being in the right time at all ever. So he's late for school. Then he's in the 50s. Then he's in 2015, and then he's back in the 1800s. You know, he's never in the right time, never in the right place. But he's not really. He's the central character, but he's not the main focus. First film, it was his parents. Second film was his kids, and then the third, his kids and his parents again. But then third film was more about Doc than him. So that's an interesting thing that I don't think a lot of people talk about. So there's something. Pardon me again. Jesus Christ. I should stop drinking Pepsi on stream, for fuck's sake. But anyway. I love the DeLorean so much, man. It looks so cool. I want to get one, but they're so expensive.
Yeah, and they're also terrible cars.
I mean, terrible cars, but I still want one.
Would it be safe to say that like E2s are the DeLorean of the train world?
Yes. Very much so. Like, they function for what they're meant to do, but not really what people are looking for. It was a sports car that could only do the speed limit. Not even the speed limit, it can only do 70. Or 80, I forgot, whichever. It can do 80. So that's kind of counterintuitive. It's a very shitty car, but I love it anyway. Just like Thomas. To wrap it all back, because of course we're gonna have to wrap back eventually. Just like Thomas, probably a really shitty engine to work with or whatever, or just to own rather. But like, I don't know, it's iconic now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
Favorite scene from Back to the Future?
Favorite scene? When fucking Marty is stuck in the trunk, and then they get him out and they hurt the guy's hand. The screwdriver goes through his hand. He can't play, so they get Marty to play. That's my favorite scene ever. Just in general, in any sort of media, it's so perfectly timed. Because he's like, yeah, but if you don't play, they can't dance, and if they don't dance, they won't kiss on the dance floor, and I'm history. Hey, man, the dance is over unless you know somebody who can play guitar. Smash cut to Marty on stage playing the guitar. It's so fucking funny, dude. It's very good.
I love the humor of Back to the Future, personally. I love how I'm not the first one to use this quote, but I can't remember who said it, but it was like, I find it really like ironic that a movie about time travel is as timeless as you can get. I think it was Michael J. Fox who said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I just remembered one thing that Michael J. Fox had to do after the movie was released.
What was that?
What it was the beginning where he's like he's grabbed onto the back of the truck and he's riding on his skateboard. Kids in Australia started doing that and they got into injuries in that. So they flew Michael J. Fox out to Australia and he went up on this massive podium. He was like, "Don't copy Marty, please. Thank you." And that was it. They flew him out to Australia to tell kids not to ride behind trucks. It was so dumb.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
Good god, man.
Eh.
What?
Oh yeah. Michael J. Fox was really nervous on the British premiere of Back to the Future because he was supposed to be sitting next to the Princess of Wales. So that's interesting.
You have a princess?
Had a princess. Unfortunately, passed away, or I guess was killed or died somehow in a horrible way. But I forgot what it was.
They died in a car crash.
Oh, this is
A
Princess.
limo crash.
This is Princess Diana.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was the Queen's daughter. Never mind. I thought it was English.
No.
All right.
No. Princess of Wales. Yeah. So, on that bombshell, does anybody else want to take over?
I actually want to ask Jord, how do you feel that they reference? And I hate to link it back to Thomas again, but how do you feel that they referenced Back to the Future in the show?
In the show, it fits the time period because it's not like, oh, this is just about the episode specifically. I know that like later on there are flying cars and it's really fucking stupid, but
Yeah.
like the reference itself, it fits because it's like roughly 50s.
Yeah.
On real fast. It's okay, I'd say. It's not the worst reference they've done.
I would ask what the worst one they've done is, but we gotta stay on track.
Mm.
There shall be no more mention of the blue twit until I deem it appropriate.
Until the next stream.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll all have forgotten that we're not meant to be talking about Thomas right now. Like tomorrow, really.
Well, yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, as a kid, I loved 3. I never actually watched the first 2. I just liked the third one because, haha, choo choo don't crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is my personal least favorite of the trilogy. They're all amazing movies, but what am I trying to say? But they're all really great movies. 3 is the weakest.
They're all good.
The 3 is the weakest.
Yeah.
1 is wonderful. There's a lot of great stuff in that movie that you couldn't get away with now, like incest.
Not necessarily true. Not necessarily true. They didn't really get away with it because they pitched the script to Disney, and Disney was like, "This is about incest. We can't be publishing a story like that."
Didn't John Mulaney make a thing about that too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was in the John Mulaney skit too. But that was the only thing that annoyed me about that skit because he says he tries to fuck his mom, but it's the other way around.
Yeah.
His mom tries to fuck him.
Yeah. But she stops, so she knows.
She doesn't really know.
Well, no, she knows it's weird. She knows in one.
She knows it's weird. Her line specifically was, "It feels like I'm kissing my brother," and he's like, yeah."
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if that made sense. Oh, trust me, Lorraine, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Oh, the second movie had Elijah Wood in it, and I thought that was really funny.
Where was Elijah Wood?
You know that scene where Marty's in the 80s cafe and
Yeah.
then those kids are like behind the Nintendo machine?
Oh, he's one of the kids.
Yeah, you know the kids.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's neat.
He's not the one that says, "That's like a baby's toy." He's like the kid who's silent, but yeah.
Oh. So silent
He's by the thing.
redefining silent cameo.
Not even a cameo. I think he was like 10 when he was in that.
So it was his breakout role.
Yeah.
Huh. Neat. I also love how Back to the Future 2 predicted like the oversaturation of sequels in Hollywood with Jaws 17.
Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah. I think that was already happening at that point anyway, but yeah, no, of course. They predicted that and it was amazing.
Yeah. Then there's the hoverboard, which they kinda predicted.
Tony Hawk had a real hoverboard, but that was with magnets and shit, so that's never gonna work. If we're talking about the quote unquote hoverboards, then nah, they were way off the mark.
Yeah, totally.
Mm.
There's a lot of great stuff. I love the fact that like they referenced both Trump and Cubs, but they were like 1 year off, which is
Mm.
absolutely hilarious.
Yeah,
We're still waiting on flying cars, and we're still
I
waiting on
guess.
what else was in that movie? There was like 6 channels at once, which is Sports Center basically.
Not really missing out on that since we can have like multiple tabs on Chrome, I guess. But
Well, yeah, but like I
no,
mean,
we have voice activation. Houses, remember?
oh
Because
yeah,
Lorraine's getting taken in, and then the police say it's dangerous to walk in without lights on. Lights on, and then the lights come on. It's like Alexa, turn the lights on.
oh,
You know,
that's true.
they predicted that.
Hmm. What I like to like I had this fun theory that like if like the government was hiding all this futuristic technology from us and like on the day of Back to the Future 2, like its current day in the world, like was it October 24th, 2015? What was that? Was that
Hmm?
the day? I
October 24th, 2015. Yeah, yeah.
yes, I had
That was the day.
I had this like fun theory that it was like the government is going to reveal all the technology in this movie on this day and be like, "Guess what, guys?
Uh,
It's real." Like I
guess
knew
what, guys? You have to wear really shitty clothing.
uh I mean, I knew it wouldn't happen. It was just funny to think about. But I'm still
Yeah.
angry uh because the day that Back to the Future 2 turned 30, my theater was doing like a showing of it, like a one-time showing of it. Be like, tune in like for the 30th anniversary of like Back to the Future, like I don't, not 30th anniversary, but like tune in for like the actual day of Back to the Future 2. And like I was like,
Yeah.
I really want to go, but like my work scheduled me to like come in during that time that the movie was showing, and I'm really really angry about it still. I
I was what it was every single TV network had the license to show all three movies, and they did. It
hmm.
was very good. I remember that day fondly.
So you just spent the entire day watching Back to the Future.
Actually, no, they did that thing where they edit all day, but in segments. So like, catch it at this time, this time, this time, and this time, and I caught it after school. So yeah.
Yeah. Uh, that I will never forgive my first workplace for that. I really wanted to go to it, but they were like, "No, you have to supervise children at the pool." And I got that's a different story. But
Yep.
yeah, but that is the day that I got cut by work to go see Back that I couldn't go see Back to the Future 2. Back to the
Yeah.
Future 1 is the best, and I will not hear for any slander against that.
Mm.
Uh Brennan, your favorite movie?
My favorite movie. Not sure if I have one, but I guess I've always been fond of this movie called Tommy Boy that has Chris Farley in it.
Hmm.
Um, my mom's side of the family loves Chris Farley.
Hmm.
For those of you who don't know who that is, he was an actor on Saturday Night Live
Yeah, he was supposed to voice
in
Shrek
like
actually.
the early mid 90s, and
Hmm.
he did a couple movies, one of which was Tommy Boy. It's about this he's the son of he's the son of a guy who owns an automotive parts company, and his dad dies and he inherits the company, but he's kind of an idiot, but he doesn't know how to run the company, and he has to go around and do all these sales pitches, but he has no idea what he's doing.
Mm.
And it's a pretty funny movie. If you haven't seen it, I recommend checking it out.
Nice.
All right. My favorite movie is vastly different from both your guys's. Pulp Fiction.
Ah.
I don't need to really
Yeah, yeah.
explain why it's good and why I love it so much because it's the same exact argument everyone makes. Like it's well directed, it's well written, it plays with the convention of like linear storytelling. Acting's good. It's funny. It's dramatic. It has some really nice writing in there. The ending's great. Sam Jackson is wonderful. Bruce Willis is fun. I won't elaborate. That's my favorite movie. But what I think is the closest thing to a perfect movie for what it tries to accomplish. Uh, Back to the Future is one of them, but we already talked about that. It's a perfect time travel movie. Uh, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, I think, is a perfect action movie or an action adventure. I love that movie. Uh, I don't know if I've seen a perfect animated movie. Ratatouille is really really good, which has Jord.
I'd say most things by Pixar are
Well,
pretty good.
Pixar's quality kind of has been waning a lot.
Yeah,
I
that's why
I
say
have a
most.
different opinion about Pixar. I almost said Pixar. Jesus Christ, Pixar, bro. I have a different opinion about Pixar. I think they've sort of stuck to the same shtick since after Toy Story 2, because they realized, oh, if we like, you can have a different opinion, and I don't care if you like Pixar movies, but they kind of stuck to the thing where it's like, oh, if we make people cry, then they'll like the movie. Just crying anyway, it doesn't matter. Just
I mean, Ratatouille doesn't really have that. I mean,
No,
at least not to my memory. It doesn't really have a scene that's like, oh, that you're supposed to cry at.
no,
yeah,
Ratatouille. Its greatest strength to me is that it doesn't feel like a Pixar movie. It feels like an indie art house film more than a Pixar film
I
because
guess.
there's not a scene where it makes you cry. It makes you feel raw emotion, which is what Pixar does, but it's much different compared to its other movies. There's no like really sad moments where like you have the cat that there's a sad like violin music and there's like a big twist or like someone dies or whatever. It's about
Hmm.
like the passion behind creation and art, basically.
Hmm.
It's my favorite Pixar.
Ratatouille is definitely one of the best. One of the best.
Yeah, and plus it still looks good. Like for 2007 animation, it still looks really good. It looks better than Brave, I will say that.
Yeah. Um.
Everyone was shitting on Brave.
It is
Man,
not
when I
good.
saw it, I didn't think it was too bad.
It is not good in my honest opinion.
It was very. I remember we were watching it in school, and it was just very fucking boring. I
Yeah.
had more fun riffing on the film than watching
In
it.
in retrospect, I can kind of see what you mean because the most of the movie is just Merida trying to figure out how to turn her mother back.
Yeah. And like
To her
okay,
normal
the
self.
fact that like she saves the day by sewing the tapestry together is the stupidest thing. Like
The sorry.
go ahead.
The moment I kind of realized what Pixar was doing, was after watching Toy Story 4, being really upset with that movie on its own, and then going home and watching Cars. Because I realized in Toy Story 4, it's a really cheap and cop out ending, and I fucking hated it so much.
I will
Like you have
I
no
didn't think
idea.
Toy Story 4 was that bad,
Okay.
but in retrospect, yeah, I definitely get why people don't like it.
I will
It
elaborate on why I like Toy Story 4's ending, but I'll let George finish.
Yeah. I'll elaborate real quick on why I don't like Toy Story 4. Just to explain myself a little bit.
Oh,
In
spoilers by the way.
spoilers, by the way, for Toy Story 3, technically 1.
And
No,
4.
I
all
mean,
it's
okay,
fucking all of them.
if you
Never mind.
if you haven't seen it by this point, what are you doing?
Yeah, yeah. But okay, so first movie, you got that song, "You Got a Friend in Me." Like, oh, Buzz and Woody put aside their differences and they're fucking friends now. Cool. Like second film, Jessie was abandoned by fucking her owner, and she's really sad about it. So Woody gives her a new home, and it's like, damn, that's nice. In the third movie, they all get separated from Andy, and they realize, oh wow, fucking, we love him. And they all realize they kind of got to grow up, and it's like, damn. But when they get home, there's that whole song. There's that whole song about family and we belong together. There's that one lyric. And then the fourth movie, fucking Woody finds a new family and pisses off and goes away from his own. And then Buzz, like, understandably is upset about this. He's like, bro, we've been on this road trip and you're just gonna piss off? Why? But yeah, anyway, I hate Toy Story 4 so much because it has a cop-out ending and I fucking hate it. It's so dumb. No. It made me cry, but not for the right reason.
It made you cry of anger.
Yeah.
So it was like that. It was like that meme where the dude's just like, and he's crying.
It's the meme of the guy saluting and he's crying and then he screams. Except it doesn't have the saluting part in it.
You can't just leave the group. Ha ha! Funny cowboy, go bye bye.
Anyway, but yeah, that's why I don't like Toy Story 4. And I realized that they were trying to do that like sad bullshit again. But I only realized it when I got home and watched Cars, because Cars fell flat on its fucking face. I will admit it. It's my favorite Pixar movie. Probably my favorite vehicle movie, besides Back to the Future.
Imagine if the DeLorean was alive.
Oh god. Well, I did do that edit with the troublesome truck face on it, so...
By far, out of all Pixar movies, has the most questionable universe.
It's so weird, dude. It would have served so much better if the movie you can keep it as Cars. Keep the title, keep the concept.
You could have just made the movie about humans.
Yeah. It would have been so much better if it was humans.
Made it that Lightning McQueen is just a race car driver. He's a human, but he's a race car driver.
I mean, let's be real. I'm pretty sure they did it for toys. Let's honestly God be real.
Of course they did it for toys, but like
yeah.
Like, here's the thing.
They probably made it that way.
And here's the thing.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the movie was originally supposed to be about humans, but they made them cars for the sake of it.
I will look. It also kind of ties back to, again, and I hate to do this. It ties back to Thomas in that Thomas could be about people. It could very well be about people, and it could translate very nicely. The books especially. But
Henry's AU is evidence of that.
Is that it's this train did a weird thing in real life. What if it was alive?
Yeah.
Cars doesn't.
Yeah.
Cars just feels like they took a movie about humans and made them cars.
Well, no, my point is that, like, Thomas as a franchise, it doesn't need to be about the engines themselves. It can be about the humans and nothing would change. Very little would. Like, for example...
The thing is, it works for Thomas, and I'll tell you why. You know how the cars have their mouths on their radiator and the eyes on the windshield?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Thomas has that whole thing where it's on the smoke box or the cab or whatever, it doesn't matter. But at least the whole face is there. It, like, in shots, if you compare Cars to Thomas, it's so messed up, dude. If you look at Thomas, when you...
And like, at least Thomas has humans. There are humans in the world. There are no humans.
There's like explanation, you know, Thomas is driving fireman, they start him up, they drive him. But like, I'm just talking about shot composition here. When you have a close-up shot of Thomas's face, say, at least you can see the emotion he's feeling, at least you can see all of the face at the same frame. With Cars, you can't really do that because the bumper extrudes like all the way out. So if you want to have a close-up shot of like, okay, here's an example. Say Mater and Lightning McQueen want to hug for some reason. I don't know why. Or you wanted to have them be really sad. How would you have a close-up shot of Cars being sad and crying, bro? How? Explain to me.
Yeah, you
It-
can't because you could only do the eyes or the mouth. You can't have both.
It's either or, and it doesn't work at all. At least with Thomas, you can see the face, and it registers. With Cars, it's either or. It doesn't work.
But
Oh,
anyway,
pardon me.
back to what I was trying to say. The point I'm trying to get across is that in terms of like why it wasn't about humans, it's marketability. Let's be real. Thomas is about trains because kids like the funny choo-choo with the cool face that gets in the crashes. Kids like Cars because it's about cars go vroom and laugh and have pee jokes in it.
I mean, I don't think the Reverend was going for that, but I can see where you're coming from when you say it could very easily work as a human thing,
Like,
but Thomas works on its own as a train thing too.
yeah, like the best example I think of is, and I'm gonna stop after this one so we can get back to the actual topic that I want to get into, Thomas's train, is that it could very well be about a driver who's really excited to be pulling his first like passenger train. He's like, oh boy, I'm moving up in the world, but he's too excited and like he mishears and he goes forward and doesn't look back because like I don't know, he doesn't feel like this is the reason the episode falls flat for me is that Thomas is sentient. He should feel like the strain of the coupling, but if it's a human, it makes more sense. Is what I'm trying to say.
Hmm. Oh, I think that's just the Reverend at work, because I think he just saw it as like, oh, the face is the only part they can really feel. Because, James has those kids in the cab fucking with him.
Let's not. We're getting off topic here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Anyway,
back
back to
to
funny cars.
Back to Toy Story
The point
4.
is, Thomas as a universe works a lot better, but the Cars universe is just weird.
Yeah.
Cars
universe
is
fucking
weird. They would work way better as humans. It would be a way better movie if they would
Yeah,
just
it would-
just
it
get
would
Owen
be so much
Wilson,
better.
put him in a like race car driver suit. That's it. That's all you need.
But I'm going to Toy Story 4 because George hates Toy Story 4. I like it.
With a passion.
I like it. I'll explain why the ending is good. Is because it's not perfect, but I think it's a good end to Woody's arc as a character. And that's because throughout the entire franchise, he has only been thinking about other people and putting himself second. In the first movie, he literally tells Buzz, go home to Andy, I'll stay here and I will die. In the second movie, he risks potentially going to Japan to make sure that Jessie and Bullseye have a new home. In Toy Story 3, he literally returns to Sunnyside, which is basically a prison, a toy prison, to save his friends and get them back to Andy. And he literally he gives himself up from Andy because he thinks it's best for Bonnie and it's best for Andy in general, as if Andy lets go of Woody then. Woody doesn't do it for himself, he does it for everyone else. And at the start of Toy Story 4, we see that Woody chooses to leave behind Bo because he wants okay, also spoilers, so I hate to say this, but because I know there's people in the chat that haven't seen Toy Story 4, so either if you haven't seen it, mute or leave or whatever. But he gives it the chance to be with Bo because he realizes that he has a commitment to his kid. So he once again puts aside his own feelings to because he has a responsibility to uphold. And the ending of Toy Story 4 is essentially Woody realizing that I'm going to be miserable the rest. I gave up my voice box for Gabby Gabby. I gave up my life with I gave up a lot of things, but I'm not going to give up Bo again. So literally, it's Woody living for himself for once after all the suffering he's been put through in the previous movies. And Buzz, also George, Buzz wasn't upset at it, and he was like, yeah, Woody, it's fine. Go chill with Bo. And
Sorry, I was muted. I was listening. Sorry.
Yeah.
Fuck.
You weren't listening?
No, I was.
Okay, good. But the point is that I like it because it actually shows how Woody's character development has come full circle. Because he tried to make in one movie in the same movie he tried to give Forky a purpose in life or help him understand his purpose in life, which is to be there for his owner, just as he did with Buzz. Um, in the first movie, he gave up his voice box for Gabby Gabby so that she could have an owner and she could have a good life at the expense of him losing part of himself. And he's now no longer as much of a toy as he was before. But he's not going to give up Bo again. Which is really good, I think, that he realizes when he has to start living for himself every now and then. And it's not like Bonnie's going to miss him at all. So I think it was good.
Okay. Now I see where you're coming from, and I very much do respect your opinion. I'm not going to trash it because I'm not a little bitch. Um, but if anything, that just makes me more mad. Because I'm thinking about it in the context of like, what's her name, Bonnie? She's like tiny. I thought in like Toy Story 3 she was at least 7, but no, I guess she's in kindergarten. But anyway, she's like small and stupid. One day she could realize, oh yeah, I kind of like Woody. Where the fuck did he go? And like, and Woody just kind of gave himself up for a Spork, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what gets me mad. He gives up so much. Like as you said, he's selfless. He gives himself up for a lot of things, but he straight up just gives his main gimmick to somebody else, and then he's like, I can't go back because I'm not a toy anymore, as you said. But that just gets me even more mad, bro. I'm upset, bro. I'm gonna cry again.
Mm.
No, I'm kidding. But yeah.
But like, I mean, the way I see it, like Woody, it's like not a retread, but like a nice recursion of the first movie, where it's like someone else is the favorite toy, but instead of being jealous about it, he's like, no, I've accepted it, but I'm going to make sure that they do the best job that they can do. It's like, could you see him in the first movie doing this or giving up his voice box? No, you couldn't. Like, this is just honesty right here. It's not me being subjective here, but this is my honest opinion.
I still see. That still pisses me off that he gave away his voice box because, again, going back to the point that he is no longer a toy, or he's like less of a toy than he was. Kind of his own fucking fault. Like he could have gone back.
To be fair, he did do that. So a toy that's just been sitting on a shelf for God knows how long had a better chance at finding a home. But I see where you're coming from, George.
Wait, did the Gabby Gabby character get an owner in the end?
Yes.
I forgot. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, she did.
But not the one she thought she would.
That gets me less mad.
Yeah.
So I'm still upset.
But like, it's basically an organ donor sort of situation. That's what it is.
I'm forever going to be upset about this. I'm sorry.
George,
I do get where you're coming from, though.
I understand. Because like in the previous movie, the whole thing was like, yeah, we stick together, and then the very next movie, Woody just dips, so he can go fuck with Bo.
But hey,
he's really simping over a doll. Yeah.
I mean, he's also a doll.
He's simping over a porcelain doll.
Yeah.
But to be fair,
anyway.
like he's known her since the first movie, and maybe more than that. Because according to Toy Story 4, Woody knew Bo before Molly was born. Or yeah. What was I going to say?
Oh, pardon me.
What was I trying to say?
Okay, I'm back.
But anyway, so that's Toy Story 4. I like it. I think it's better than Toy Story 3. I think Toy Story 3 is kind of overrated.
Oh, definitely, it's overrated.
Yeah, it's
I agree
also
with you
I
there.
think it's the ugliest looking of the Toy Story movies. And I mean, of course, like the first movie doesn't look good by like a quality standpoint, but I think it's still charming in how it was the first CG film ever made. 2 looks really good. I think 2 looks pretty good. 3 just looks really green, and it looks like that ugly like mustard green color or mustard yellow with a tint of green hue.
Yeah.
It's really weird to describe, but you gotta watch it and understand what I'm saying.
No, I get what you mean. I watched it in the cinemas and I thought, wow, this looks really weird.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Toy Story 4 actually looks legitimately good, and I think you should end the franchise there. I don't think a Toy Story 5 would work unless you kill somebody. I don't know.
They've been doing mini-series about the spork
Yeah,
and
I'm not watching that.
other things.
The
No, I'm not
shorts?
paying for fucking Disney Plus. No.
No,
Sure,
none of us
I
are.
feel
Screw
like
that.
they could have. I feel like they could have left it.
Mm.
At 3?
I'll summarize my opinion in this one sentence, which I've composed. I've composed in my head. Toy Story 4. I hate Toy Story 4 because it hurts my heart and it hurts my childhood. It's like, ow. Yeah, that's what I have to say.
Mm.
That's my little podium. It breaks up the gang and it gets me upset.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yes.
Okay. So,
So
three best Pixar movies. Incredibles, Ratatouille, and Up, in no particular order.
Hmm. Uh,
my favorite Pixar movie. Toy Story, the original Toy Story, definitely one of them. Yeah, I guess Ratatouille would be another one. Again, this is also in no particular order. Um, uh, what would my third one be?
Up? I don't know.
Monsters Inc., I guess.
hmm. And for my favorite three, even though I was trashing it earlier, Cars. Cars, Toy Story 2, simply for the fact that Al exists. And
Oh yeah, I forgot about
Hmm.
that. I forgot about
I
Al.
can't believe I have to drive all the way
Drive
to
to
work
work on a
today.
Saturday.
All the way.
On the way to work.
Yeah. So wait, fuck. What did I say? Cars, Toy Story 2, and Monsters Inc.
Hmm.
No particular order.
And in terms of terrible Pixar movies, my least favorite is Brave. Next is Good Dinosaur, and then third worst is Cars 2. And I actually will rewatch Cars 2.
I haven't seen all of like the. So of what I've seen, I gotta say my three least favorite Pixar movies are Monsters University, I guess
Oh, yeah.
Brave, because Brave was just okay. It was nothing special. Monsters University, Brave, and Cars 2. I believe we've talked about Cars 2 before.
Hmm.
We've definitely talked about Cars 2 before in call and on stream too, so
Yeah, so I don't think we need to go over why that one's bad.
yeah.
It's at least rewatchable.
Aesthetics are really good in it though.
Hmm.
Aesthetics are good.
I would say the first and third one are more watchable.
I'll say this, the only good thing that came out of Cars 2 was the PS3 game. It was very fun to play.
Game.
There was a PS3 game. It was essentially Mario Kart, but you had different modes too. So like you could just like have a fucking brawl with your friend as Mater and Lightning McQueen. It was very fun.
Huh.
Like it was an actually decent Disney tie-in game.
Hmm.
All right, so we've exhausted topics. We'll open it up to questions from the audience. So, audience, you have any questions? Feel free to drop them down in the chat, and we'll answer them.
We're still waiting on Mike, and we're running out of topics.
Well, Mike probably wasn't gonna show up because he was doing other stuff, but he'll hopefully be here next time.
He said he probably wouldn't show up anyway. So,
Would this be a good? If we don't get any audience questions, would this be a good place to end? Because I feel like we've exhausted our topics.
Yeah, and we'll give it a bit, but I'll still keep talking about my least. I'll talk about why I don't like Good Dinosaur, because it's a terrible script. The animation is the only saving factor. It looks really good.
It really did feel like just a showreel of animation. It didn't feel like a story to me.
I didn't see The Good Dinosaur. I'm kind of glad I didn't, because it just looked very generic.
It was very generic, very empty, and very boring. I dipped halfway through.
That's why I didn't. I also didn't go see Onward, because it just looked very generic.
I'm not going to see Onward because I can already see the plot already. As much as I love what's his face?
Yeah, they're gonna get the dad back, and fairy tales, but it's real life.
The lesbian Cyclops, we can't forget that.
Oh yeah,
the one scene she showed up in.
Yeah, for one fucking scene, they hyped her up to be, she's representation.
She's the first lesbian representation, guys. The very first one.
Even though
she's pretending. They keep pretending that it's the first. There is not. There's like 50.
Excuse me, this is the 7th time you've shown off your first LGBT character in class in a row.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's so depressing to watch. Then again, Disney really didn't, or whatever, Pixar fucking, they didn't really hype it up. It was more media outlets, but still, media outlets, fucking come to my house, I'll throw hands.
I know. It's like,
But yeah, audience, still waiting on questions. If you got any questions for us, please feel free to ask. If not, we'll wait for a few minutes, and if we don't get anything, we'll just go into topics for next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw Good Dinosaur in theaters during Thanksgiving. It was so boring.
Oh,
the character designs suck.
You had to pay for that, Cynic. No.
I had to what?
You had to pay for a tech test. I can't believe it.
I didn't have to pay for it, technically, so my family did.
Well, your family had to pay for it. That's a little bit of your family's income gone.
Fucking. What's it even? What is Good Dinosaur even about? Like, I know there's a kid.
I don't remember.
Like, I know there's a dinosaur, and he finds a little human child. That's all I know. And I think he takes care of him or something.
Yeah, basically it's a boy and his dog story, but the boy is the dog.
Real riveting story there, Pixar.
Yeah, basically it's a very boring story. It's just cartoon dinosaur wants to take care of this kid. He takes care of the kid, and they become friends, and then sad ending.
Yeah, it doesn't sound that exciting.
No, yeah, that's why I dipped halfway through. It was so fucking boring, dude.
Yeah.
They did it purely for the press.
Like Cars 2. at least Cars 2, like, it's bad, but it's batshit insane. So, like,
Yeah.
it's always, it keeps your attention.
Yeah.
I've never seen Good Dinosaur, but I feel like I already have.
Yeah. No, you've thought about it in a daydream. I swear to God, you have. Everybody has.
I feel like you don't. I feel like you don't even need to watch the movie to know the story.
Mm.
To, like, know
Just
how it's gonna.
watch a clip of the animation, you'll get what the story is. Again, I'm going to keep repeating this. It's just so they could show off their animation skills. They didn't put any thought into the story whatsoever.
Yeah. So, looks like we got no questions, so let's just go over to what would we like to talk about next time.
I would like to delve into the modern show of Thomas. How it
modern?
kind of is. Right now, I suppose. Just how it is right now. What direction it's going, what direction we think it's going.
Do you think we should save that until after Marvel's Machinery comes out? Because Marvel's Machinery looks fucking whack.
That actually comes out the day of our next podcast.
Oh.
Oh, well, perfect.
Yeah, and then we'll
We
save...
could actually. That's
what?
just like we could. What's it called? We could just record our reaction, like maybe not live, but record it, and then that is our podcast for the week. Like we delay the podcast or something. We watch Marvelous Machinery.
True.
We could do that. But not
Yeah,
finally yet.
just watch Marvel's Machinery and then upload.
Give our
upload
thoughts.
our
I
reaction.
already know I'm not gonna like it. I know I don't talk
yeah.
about Modern Thomas
me
at
too.
all.
I'm not going to like Marvel's Machinery.
Mm.
It's so weird. Like the polar opposites. You got Royal Engine, which looks great. And then you got Marvelous Machinery, which looks batshit insane.
As Milan said on Henry's stream, Marvelous Machinery seems like we need toys, so let's make the toy episodes, and then Royal Engine is going to be the special, the good thing. That's what Milan said. I sort of agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, Marvelous Machinery really just seems like a toy shill thing.
Yeah. But, so, that's an idea. Next week, we give our thoughts on Marvelous Machinery.
Yeah.
Brennan, what about you?
I guess we're all agreed on that.
Well,
Talking about Marvel's Machinery.
So, and then, how about this? The week after that, we talked about Royal Engine.
Yeah, I think that's good.
All right.
We'll have to consult Mike, though, because he's not here to confirm.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, we may, unless we decide to do something different, that's what our next podcast will be, I guess.
So look out for Marvelous Machinery. I know we'll all be expecting some result.
Yeah.
Well,
so, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to our non-Thomas podcast. Just the three of us rambling on for 3 hours. But this has been C Junior,
Ringo Starr, and fucking we both interrupted each other. Well done. You go first.
Huh? What? Oh, this is.
Oh, fuck! I've messed up this ending. Can we redo?
Right, yes.
Can we press the rewind button?
Yes. Space-time rewind. All right. So this has been C Junior,
Carl and Conductor. I wasn't sure who was going first.
Wait.
George?
Shut up. Wait, this is a funny bit. Wait. And the Ringo Conductor.
All right. Thank you all for joining in, and we hope to see y'all next time.